Yo.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Yo. Oh, let me mix some.
Hello.
Hello.
What are you
Quick
selling?
fixes.
Yo.
This is some yellow
We're selling
bars.
video games tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some good ones. Dare I say great.
Only buying 2 though.
Not allowed to say great for some of them yet.
I'm
Thank
buying
you
them
to,
all, baby.
Thank you to Christofact, Amish Wonder, Killer Icon,
Yeah.
Rice Pudding Go, Warner Broses, Evo Show, DJW 1121, and Butter Gurgling.
I think.
Butter
Gurgling.
Thank
you, Blood, for hanging out today and reading off all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
Blood.
Snarky Puppers issue some bits.
I'm feeling okay. Just a headache. I got a pretty good headache. I'm used to them though. I get headaches my whole life. You know,
I'm sorry,
it's nothing new. It's not like
let me
a
test-
surprise
I test the thing real quick.
headache.
I just
They're
took
pretty
ibuprofen, too.
consistently.
What a surprise.
I just took my 3rd ibuprofen for the day.
Oh!
Wow, Sage Mode
Yo,
Gifted
gift
subs.
subs
and
flowing.
buttered gurgling.
$20 donation. Thank you,
Butter
everyone.
gurgle gin? Is that what you said?
Girl.
Damiani, you need a minute to do something? We need to stop talking?
Why is this? What's going on with this?
I could scream loudly, Damiani. Would that help?
Yes.
This
This is
Make
weird.
a loud noise, Ian.
Loud noise.
Take
I
turns
don't know what's
screaming.
going on with this.
Not yet.
Maybe I can close this. There we go. Hang on.
Pixelated.
I'm just making sure I
Loud
could
noise.
do a preview editor edit.
5 gift
without
subs.
crashing
Thank you,
anything.
Pixelated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
All right, cool. Yes, it works. Yay.
Sweet.
Yay.
Sorry.
We have-
birthday, Analyze. Analyze,
Spirituosa.
it's your birthday.
we reached the Mario Maker 2 race level.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
So that'll happen
Congrats.
Thursday evening. I'm excited about that. Next up is the Monster Hunter audio commentary, I believe.
No, I think your synth stream is next.
Synth stream is next?
Yeah.
Ah, shoot. I should have spaced out my workload on this.
I should have made that one higher, Ian.
I should have made that one higher. We should switch it with the Forbidden Easy update. For real.
Yeah, want to take a look at those incentives again? Or?
Yeah, I'd love to look at that.
Show those incentives. Show
Yeah,
those.
so
I
let me
really
update
want to
this.
do
We've now
the
hit
Monster
that.
Hunter commentary.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Boom! Oh, I love that blue. I love filling it in blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ian's
So
synth
synth
stream is
stream
at
is
10,000. Monster Hunter movie audio commentary at 12,000.
Let's make it
Patreon.
happen, chat.
Halfway
Patreon
to
watch
Bob
party on
Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah,
Chat,
16,000
only
for
you
the
can
Mario
get-
movie.
Chad, only you can get Huber to finally watch Patriot.
Duke of
And I know you want to see that Forbidden Easy update.
The
guys
food
literally
reviews
wouldn't let me
is
put it
hype
up.
too.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't done a great job of selling the food reviews, but let me tell you, an ally sitting in their car alone, recording on their phone, and eating fast food will be like some of the best videos we ever
Yeah.
produced.
It's like review.
Yeah, exactly. Review.
Not the Mel Gibson movie, The Patriot, the Amazon Prime show, Patriot.
Right,
Terrible
correct.
title.
People have asked about
wonderful
that.
show. Very
But yeah,
The
so
food,
this is
food is funny because every time I feel like it's brought up amongst the allies, it gets very serious very
heated.
quickly.
We argue about dumb stuff a lot. And get
I'm
invested.
very serious about food.
seriously.
Jones and
Yeah,
I hate food, so who knows what we'll
That's
review.
true.
Man,
I hate
love fast
that you
food,
say
though.
that.
I just
I'll
want
make
food to
a
be fast,
smoothie.
and so fast food usually takes care of that.
I'll make a
Right.
smoothie in my house, carry it out to my car, and then do a video review.
Oh,
I
I
respect
realize.
your decision, but I do not understand.
I have something that would make this really exciting, which I didn't take into
Oh.
consideration. Maybe all of you too. But I haven't eaten out, period, in about almost a year. No joke. So who
Wow.
knows?
Wow.
Who knows what
That's
state of
amazing.
affairs
I
my
haven't
palate
eaten at a
is
restaurant
in?
in a year.
My palate may be completely off kilter. There could be some surprises there, maybe.
I've been having
Dude.
delivery like all the time,
Cool.
but I haven't been to a restaurant.
yeah, same
Yeah,
here.
of
I've done
course, of
takeout, but I
course.
haven't actually like eaten at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Some more subs
Same.
and stuff. Duke of Demons subbed. Omid gave $10. Pat the Writer gave $50. Marty makes it's hosting us. Thank you. YOLO Alchemist resubbed, and Miguel just donated $500.
Holy
Happy
shit.
anniversary.
Oh, thank
Good
you.
lord.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
god.
Jackpot. Jackpot.
You.
Yeah, so all of this is just helping us to keep the train rolling, keep Easy Allies going and growing, and being able to get new equipment when we need it, pay the bills, all that just good, boring
Soundproof a
stuff
wall.
that it takes to run a business. And we are tracking your donations from PayPal, which you can hit that donate button below for a one-time gift. We're tracking your Twitch subs, although it's a little slower to update. Twitch just gives us like a chunk every couple of hours to show us an update. And then the most effective thing that you can do is to donate monthly by pledging on Patreon at patreon.com/easyallies. It's all going into this red bar that I'm filling obsessively. So thank you very much to everybody. And there's some more gift subs rolling
Thank
in
you,
from
Casper.
J877.
How
And
much
just
to
being a
watch
patron-
Patriot Games?
$45,000.
Which is
So
the rated
good.
R one? There's Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games. One of them is rated
Probably
R. One of
Patriot Games.
I thought they were both R.
Super good. Super
Patriot Games
good
is very
movie.
violent. Oh, Sean Bean, dude. Sean Bean is an
Yes.
angry Irishman. Like,
Dude, Patriot Games rules.
oof.
10 gift
Man.
subs from Ace Jackson. Thank you so much.
You know what
And
else
Dark
Sean Bean
Monkey.
is in? That
Thank you.
second Silent Hill movie.
Yeah, it is.
The first. And the first. Just being
Oh,
a
yeah,
patron at
he's-
all, even $1 gets you really cool stuff. Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
new
Achieve It
season
Yourself this
of
morning.
Achieve
Yeah.
It Yourself, which launched today. So check that out.
5,000.
Dude.
Don, I bet it would be very delightful to cook with you. I bet that would be a pleasurable experience.
But yeah, I may
Look at
hold off
Straight up.
for batches between presentations to
Yeah.
to call all this out because Hall of Greats, you need to focus. So I will step away from the call outs for a little bit, but I've got a list here, so we should be able to keep up with them.
Cool. And I'm getting my timer ready.
All right.
Jones, do you have the tarot cards ready?
Ew.
We are on top of our shit.
Jones, if you
Before
make me
we-
go first, I'm gonna be so sad.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Before we get into
Kind
any
of like getting it out of the
foolishness-
way, though, you know?
Hang on,
Yeah,
hang on.
don't.
Before we get into any foolishness, are we doing bonus minutes or not? It always comes up.
How do those work again?
You
I don't
guys can
remember.
have as long as you want. That's
I
where
like
I
this.
stand.
No,
Okay.
No, you
You know,
cannot.
it's
not it.
I
No.
love this.
I don't
John,
think we should do
no.
that.
I'm in
That's the
favor of
kind of
that.
mood that's we're in here.
The
Easy
5-year
X.
anniversary.
Yeah. Friendly.
I love that.
So friendly.
Sorry, Huber, but no. I have to be firm on
We
that.
tried, Don. We tried.
Zio says I would still go over time, so
Yeah, you would still 100 minutes and he still goes over.
All right, Ben,
Can
if
I
you
at
really don't want to go
least-
first, say when and I'll stop. If you
Wait,
really don't wanna
I
go
do
first.
like-
I don't want to go for stop.
I do
Okay.
like giving away unused minutes.
I think if someone has a remainder time, they can give it to someone else.
Yeah.
It's
I think
over
that's
9,000.
I like that.
funny. All right.
Going
So we agree.
Going first on the first Easy Allies induction ceremony into the Hall of Greats of 2021, Brad.
All right.
Rattle, rattle, rat.
Full disclosure, I didn't get as much time to spend on this that I would have liked.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I have a
Same.
script and it's a little,
Likewise.
it's going to be a little messy. So please bear with me.
Slapdash.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start
Damiani,
it when-
let me know when you got that video queued up.
I
Wait,
need
you have a script
minute.
and a video?
I didn't make a video. It's just something playing in the background.
Holy shit.
Um,
Coming in with a
I'll s-
script.
I'll
I
start the
wrote. I
timer
usually
when
do
you-
because I'll just ramble forever. You know.
$9,000, by the way. Good stuff.
Damiani, is it good to go?
I'll give you a thumbs up. I'm just setting up.
I can't.
the-
Oh yeah. Okay.
Can't hear me?
I'll give you. No, I can hear you. I'll give you the
I need a
signal.
minute because I gotta set up.
That's
the thing.
okay.
Yeah.
Just hang tight.
Twitch.
9007. Oh, there it went.
One.
Up to
Oh, yeah,
40.
it was 9,007.
It was 007.
I'll read off some things while Damiani is doing that. No fruit snack for you donated $5. DMV fan 123 resubbed. LNR donated $10. Val 265 resubbed. Blorp Snorp and Neff donated $5. Liberty 197 threw some bits in there. Rennie donated 30. Fresh Enigma resubbed. And Theoretical Bezos gave a bit.
Theoretical
you want? I
Bezos.
forgot. You want
Theoretical
audio?
Bezos, dude.
You don't need audio. It's okay.
Okay, so I got it muted. So I am ready to go when you are, Brad.
Okay, I'll let you know when I'm going.
And remember, I'm gonna go to the presentation shot, which will have Brad's camera and his video. You won't see you'll hear all of us, but you won't see the rest of us. Just see
Correct.
Brad
Got
in
it.
the video. So
I'm gonna start, then I'll tell you when to go, Damiani.
Sure.
All right, Ian, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. For this Hall of Greats, I thought I'd bring a game from a series that I feel often gets overlooked. Of course, it's got its fans out there, including some of us, but it's something I'd like to shine a little more light upon. My nominee for this Hall of Greats is... Play, Damiani. Dishonored 2. Now, just for clarity, the reason I'm bringing Dishonored 2 over the first game is that I feel 2 just builds upon what 1 started, just better. One example of that is 2 playable characters with 2 different powers. So, for anyone who's unfamiliar with Dishonored, it's a stealth action series where you go from level to level, taking down specific targets. While this isn't a new concept, what I love about Dishonored 2 is the amount of freedom it gives you to accomplish your task. The most obvious example of this is your supernatural powers. This time around, though, there are 2 playable characters to choose from, Corvo and Emily, and with their own unique set of powers to play with. Corvo comes with many of the powers present in the first game, like Blink, which quickly teleports you, or Devouring Swarm, which summons rats to devour your foes. Emily, on the other hand, has all new abilities, like Domino, which links enemies together, so if you kill one or knock them out, they're all connected, they all suffer the same fate, and Shadow Walk, which transforms you into a weird shadow baby and you can crawl around. These powers can be upgraded, also giving you added effects like being able to assassinate targets while shadow walking or extending the reach of Blink. Regardless of which character you choose, each of their powers are fun and give you a ton of flexibility in your playstyle. Just quick shout out, this is a Stealth Gamer BR YouTube video if you want to check his stuff out. Another strong pillar of Dishonored 2 is its fantastic level design. Each area you visit in the city of Karnaca is wonderfully crafted sandbox full of secrets to find and paths to explore, filled with all the signs of life, like citizens walking in streets or guards patrolling its dark alleys. The city of Karnaca feels like a lived-in place. Just like the gameplay, the level design is built around freedom, giving you options and letting you decide your approach. Do you go in quietly through a window high above the street? Maybe a secret route by unlocking a side quest? Or perhaps you're feeling bold and rather go through the front door. Regardless of your mood, Dishonored 2 lets you decide how you want to take your approach. What makes everything really click, though, is how well the level design effortlessly blends the gameplay. Blinking around and clearing a huge gap, climbing to a window makes you feel like a badass, or slowly picking off your targets in a lavish locations make you feel like Batman. Also, just a quick shout out to the Clockwork Mansion, one of my favorite levels in gaming. If you've played Dishonored 2, you know what I'm talking about, Michael Huber. While going in guns blazing is often seems like the most the spotlight in this game and in the video I'm showing, the game also the stealth approach is also incredibly satisfying. I played through this entire game non-lethal as Ghost, and while it was very challenging, it's still incredibly fun and rewarding. If you want a true challenge also, you can also play in a mode where you don't have any powers, which I think is an awesome addition that just extends the gameplay. In closing, Dishonored 2 is a fantastic game that lets you play how you want to play. Its world is fascinating to explore, and your supernatural powers are a ton of fun to play around with. By no means is it a game that nobody's ever heard of, but I think it's one people should play and pay more attention to. Even if it doesn't get into the Hall of Greats today, everyone should check it out. It's tight. That's it.
You got a minute and a half left. You good?
A minute and a half. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what to say.
So Bradley has a minute and a half to give to someone else later if he wants to.
Well, it's gonna have to go to Don because he's gonna go over.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, have it reserved for now.
Yeah.
Keep it in reserve. Good job.
Yeah, great pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
That
Excellent.
video was nuts.
That video was
I know.
spectacular.
Yeah,
Getting people into fans left and right. It was awesome.
When he ran around the corner right as the guy was going through the door, now is when I leave the store. It's like, did he time this whole thing to get to this point?
Insane.
Right when that guy goes through the door?
Yeah, that
I will
was
say,
nuts.
as someone who has hit his head on a ceiling fan, that it will not tear you to pieces, but it does not feel good
You've
either.
never been to that town. You've never been to that town?
Yeah,
Like,
those
sharp
are
fans.
It's crazy.
Bad girl fans. I thought Blood was going to start something serious, so I started the timer.
Oh, you probably should have
Oh,
started.
sorry. Yeah, restart.
I'll restart it.
All right, go ahead.
So whenever someone has a question, I'll start the timer. No
Brad, could you
cross-examine?
Talk about the story a little bit, Brad. I don't remember. I played it and I
So-
remember having a ton of fun, but it was like, yeah, I don't remember.
Dishonored
any
2's
of-
story is presented in a really not super accessible way, I would say. There's a very bare bones premise of you're trying to get back your throne, or depending on who you play in this game, your daughter or your throne, kill these people that are taking over your birthright, essentially. But if you read a lot of the documents, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff with the Void going on out there and the Outsider. This is like almost Eldritch kind of story. I think there's enough to go in there and really get some cool stuff. It's been a while since I played, so I can't reflect on it too well. But I do agree with you. The main story is not the greatest thing, but there's enough cool shit in there that you want to keep going.
It was way cool.
Brad, you talk about this being underappreciated, and I'm wondering if one of the reasons that it kind of has that reputation is that it has a problem getting people into it, getting people connected to it. And I wonder if you think that it feels like maybe too overwhelming for people with all of the options that they have at hand.
I think that's a good point of criticism, Blood. I think the game starts you off pretty slow, though. You only have a few powers, and like a lot of the stuff you saw in the video is obviously insane stuff that not a lot of people do. But I think even if you just use their powers in a very basic form, it's still easy enough to get into. I think just the idea of a stealth game might push a lot of people away, or they get intimidated by it. But especially with its lower difficulties, I think it's pretty inviting for a stealth game.
I remember being disappointed with the like dark and light mechanic in the first game, how you could like affect the ending. I remember like really trying to get a particular ending, and it like I got the worst one, or like everything turned out horribly.
Oh, because you did high chaos.
I think I only had to for one mission, or something went bad. I was surprised that the meters, moved that far in one direction. Does that affect Dishonored 2 at all? Is that a nice payoff?
I mean, you could. It just depends how you want to play. Like, depending on what you do to the people you're in the game with, yeah, you'll be seen as a much more evil or a tyrant almost. But you can beat the entire game without killing anyone, without getting seen. So if you want to be a pacifist and still a good boy, you can still do it.
Even bosses? You don't have to kill the bosses?
No, you don't have to.
Oh, wow.
How do the controls hold up for controls or mouse and keyboard?
Fine. I played on PC personally, so I always felt super in control. I personally wouldn't want to play this on a controller because it just wouldn't click for me. I feel much more fluid on mouse and keyboard in this game, but works well for me.
Does the enemy AI still hold up?
Yeah,
and do you feel like the use of stealth against them, like, did you ever get frustrated, or does it feel pretty good to use stealth?
I think it feels pretty good. I mean, an AI in a game, like, you cannot. I know people want good AI games, but I think if AI is too realistic, it'll be extremely frustrating. I think Dishonored 2, especially on the harder difficulties, has a nice balance of, yes, you can exploit some things, but there is a couple of things they will pay attention to that you might not necessarily think about. Like maybe just removing an enemy from somewhere, getting rid of them completely. A guard will notice that and investigate or something.
I feel like a lot of like Hitman falls into this as well, where like you mentioned the like Clockwork Mansion as like a standout level, and I feel like sometimes like with Dishonored 2, like you have those levels that really stand out to you that you remember super well, and you're like, oh, this is amazing, but the other levels don't quite rise to that level.
Sure.
They're just not as creative, or like you don't get as many options. Do you think that affects Dishonored 2 at all?
I think the Clockwork is like, obviously I think the Clockwork's the most interesting level just because of the way it functions. I think there's enough going on each of the levels though, with the routes it gives you, like the optional side quests you do to unlock new routes, the citizens walking around, stuff like that. I think that gives you enough options, but I will agree the Clockwork does stand out the most. But I still think there's a lot of great levels in there.
Cool.
20 seconds left.
This make me want to play Dishonored again.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Finish it.
We also had the rule that
Blade
if
one
you're in the
and Blade
middle of
two.
answering a question, you get to finish it. I don't know if we
Did?
No, that's fine.
Oh,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah, we
said
established
that
that
last
last
time,
We
yeah.
established that last
That should
time.
be a rule. I
It is, we
strongly
established
agree
it.
with
We
you.
Yeah,
established it
I strongly
last
agree.
Greats.
So on
You
Game
get to
Fast
finish your
Track.
answer.
That's time
believe.
right there.
Well done, Brad.
Thank you.
Dishonored 2 is great.
Nice job,
I
Brad.
wish I got to spend more time with it.
Before we go into the next person, let me roll off
Yes.
some subs and pledges and such. On Patreon, Sebastian and Steven both pledged. Thank you. New pledges.
Thank you.
And then over here, we've got DJK287 resubbed, Fox Warrior 88 resubbed, Bengal Party threw us some bits, Paul GD threw us some bits, Wildcard donated $20, ZOVGM threw some bits in, Choco Nate's resubbed, Ursula Kayla Gwent donated $20, Ray Lawaza donated $10, and El Shoelace resubbed, and they're still rolling in. Tokyo Slim resubbed as well, 51 months. Easy breezy, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Coming up next, Bloodworth.
Oh shit!
Oh boy,
Daniel.
Baby
Oh,
Bloodworth.
Bloodworth.
for sure.
But it's
I gotta
crazy
get my
that you're
notes.
bringing Genshin Impact.
That's wild.
That's nuts.
knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard you have footage already of Ben spending all the money.
That's your argument.
That would be a hilarious Hall of Greats for
You did a
Bloodworth to
statistical
bring
breakdown of
Ben
it.
spending money.
Just almost ready, Blood.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready. And then similar to Brad, I'll have like a reveal of the game title, and then
Oh yeah.
it'll be clear when it's time to do my video.
All right.
Deals,
so
dude?
do nothing. Don't remember. Play it once.
Well, they're
All right.
they make fucking full videos, dude.
I'm
Gotta do something.
so ready for you. I'm ready.
Reveals.
I'm ready.
All right, and then Ian, if I don't think I'll get that deep into time, but if I get to 3 minutes, just hit me. Let me know.
That's pretty
Okay.
existential. I don't think
I'm
I'll
gonna
get
give
that
everyone
deep
the
into
1
it.
minute warning too, just so you know.
Okay.
But I'll give you a 3-minute warning as well.
F-Zero or Riot.
Shit, dude.
Damiani, you good?
I'm good. I'm good to go.
Okay. All right. This month on Hall of Greats, I'm bringing a game that I don't know much about, a game that I've barely played, but it's also a game that people are willing to spend hundreds of dollars on for a controller. It's a game that's had more than a dozen sequels that only the most hardcore fans can distinguish between. But I'm going to honor the original, and I still truly believe it belongs in the Hall of Greats. And that game is Dance Dance Revolution.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think that DDR is emblematic of an entire genre of rhythm games. So many games have just copied and pasted that structure, and done. They put their own music in it, but they're still essentially DDR. And games like Guitar Hero, Taiko no Tatsujin, Elite Beat Agents, they all at least owe some little piece of their DNA to DDR. Very, very few games have you play with your feet. This is not a game that has a joystick or buttons that you tap with your hands, which is going to make what comes up later even more ridiculous. So it creates like a different type of gamer, right? This is somebody you watch as a spectacle in an arcade. They just command the room if they are good at this game. People who are good at it know it inside and out. They don't even look at the screen sometimes. They play both players' pads sometimes. They twist around, turn, show off. It's crazy, and makes you feel like another type of creature. Like they are a level above your average player. Absolutely, it will literally make you sweat. It's been
3 minutes.
installed in what's 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been installed in a number of schools, the fitness programs and gyms. And while I personally haven't played a lot of these games, I did review DDR Mario Mix back on GameCube. So I will now show you a video of me attempting to play with my hands because
Okay.
I can't play this
I thought
game
you said when the
properly right
title
now.
reveal was blood. They've been watching it.
It's been.
Oh,
This is amazing,
Been
though.
on
This
Watching it the whole
is
time,
this is
it
way
was
more
awesome.
Keep going,
perfect.
Blood, keep going.
Oh,
Keep going.
It's fine. It's fine. But like you can sound up. I guess it's the sound's been. I don't know. But there it is.
Dude, it made it.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is the best thing ever. I'm sorry, Blip. This is perfect.
Great.
Is that it?
That's. I mean, well, you're gonna watch the video at this point. So.
Crank it up now.
With pleasure.
Look at the joy on his face.
Yeah, pure bliss.
Yeah.
insane. Fantastic.
Everybody is watching you.
So it's like sensing your
100 combo.
It's not sensing anything. I'm just miming, trying to.
Oh my god!
You're just playing along.
You're using your imagination.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Amazing.
Very wholesome.
Oh my god.
This is what I jumped out of the last stream to record.
So cool.
Oh, that's amazing. You just
Damn.
recorded that like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Bravo.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Bravo.
beautiful.
Oh,
You
that
have
was
a minute
amazing.
left. Do you cede your time?
Sure.
Or bank
Save it
it
for
for
dawn.
later? Save it for dawn?
Thank you.
I'll
The
take
dawn,
that.
the dawn
Great
fun.
work.
It's gonna take like
Yeah.
15
Funnel it.
minutes.
I
Dawn's
need
bank
it.
it.
I need it.
Great
today.
pick, Blood.
Andrew Travel, thank you.
I have no idea how I'm gonna deal with any rebuttals, but here we go.
Blood, this isn't so much a rebuttal as a confirmation of something you noted about arcades. I had a job for a period of time right after I got out of college in arcade. The most wonderful thing every day would be the DDR hardcore fans with multiple versions coming in with their towels, with their outfits. It was like watching a star athlete, a beautiful musical performance. It was just one of those things that was just captivating. I couldn't even play a single second of it, but like to watch it was the most beautiful thing in the world, just like next level. And just one of the other bummers about not getting an arcade anymore.
Blood, I was obsessed with DDR, and I love it so dearly. It was a huge part of my life, and it is extremely influential, as you said. I think the thing that is disappointing, unlike a lot of other games that we bring to Hall of Greats, like busting out DDR and like getting at the mat and everything, is just like so much harder, right? And like a lot of arcades have vanished, and so it's just harder to appreciate like DDR in the purest sense. You can definitely play DDR on PC with keyboard if you want to, but I think like kind of the true experience is hard. It can be difficult to appreciate now.
Yeah, I think that's true. I also think, one of the things, potentially that DDR has struggled with is, hitting that mass market of Western pop songs or whatever, or Western electronica, that, may pull people like a Guitar Hero does. But I think that it's done such a great job with the library of songs that it's had. And, like with that Mario Mix game, like those remixes are amazing to like hear those classic Mario songs put into something that's actually very listenable in a like dancey format. It's pretty amazing.
Some of the best music.
Blood, you mentioned there's a ton of these games. Is the first one the true great? Iterations on the next ones didn't push it over the edge. This was the peak.
I think it's maybe not the peak, but it's the inception point. It's the point that really, like, there are times where I think that like the sequel maybe should be the thing that gets honored because it improved on what the ones did before. But like, just the concept of DDR is such a monumental step that I think it really, like, despite how the other libraries and stuff might compare or things that they changed, like, I think the first one is the one that really deserves it.
Do you feel like you
chat,
can dance it? Oh, sorry.
So yeah, just for chat, we did do a Mario Mix DDR stream a while back. If you want to look that up.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Where
played that in
was
the
that?
garage.
Kyle and I in the finals, baby.
I remember you guys were sweating.
People
Yeah.
were dying almost. We're about
I
to collapse.
No recollection.
this is making me really want to do a DDR stream.
I want to. Once we're back in the studio, boys, we're playing more DDR, man.
Oh my god,
I want to
That
do
was
like
would make me
DDR to
so
Final
happy.
Fantasy
Mods
music.
just linked it.
Nice.
Wow, that's fast.
Wow.
What are we
Dude,
gonna say?
Winged
guys?
Angel, dude, DDR.
Yeah, is this
Yeah,
a song? Is
it's
this a game
economics.
so good you can play any track, or do you, Blood? Could you play just any track? Could you just hit shuffle or random if you were to step on a DDR machine, or would you be like, nah, I want to play with a specific type of music?
I think it's a little of both. I mean, I think any track like fits because it really is about hitting the rhythm. But I think that there are definitely difficulty on these songs, and so it's very easy to get in over your head. And so I think like any rhythm game, there's sort of like that good balance point of the songs that feel good for you and also feel like a challenge for you without you feeling like so overwhelmed and stretched. And as you get better at the game, then that, that point moves in time.
40 seconds left.
Ian, were you actually at that thing and you forgot?
Apparently I was there. Apparently I'm in the video, like immediately.
Nice.
Are the mats that you bust out at home good?
they're
Not as good, but serviceable.
Oh wait, not my game.
They're not great.
Did
No.
they? Yeah.
You can buy good mats. Yeah.
They say, but
Yes,
aren't
you
they
can
also
buy
like
hard
for
pads.
the older consoles? Do they even have like modern ones for the current? Yeah. Like you play them on
Depends on how much
HDTV
you
with lag and
spend.
stuff. It could be.
I'm sure people
Yeah.
make USB ones or whatever.
Yeah, if the option is there for like a really good one, that's all
Yeah.
nice.
There's definitely a PC scene for it.
Time.
Yeah.
We can
I've
ask
seen
Chris.
those
He
at
knows
the
all about
market.
it.
Yeah.
I have a plastic one.
I'll just clap
in
for
my
myself.
closet.
I don't know.
Great. Great pick,
Reflex.
Great.
Yeah,
pick.
truly amazing. Pick.
Great.
I really
picks.
love it.
Yeah,
Great
that blew
picks.
my mind. Also, I know the
Fun
video
pick.
came up at the wrong time, but it was perfect.
It made it.
Yeah.
On that,
Really
on
good
that
Right when
note,
you
Because you were
said-
so happy.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right when
Truly
you
might
said-
be the most wholesome thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like,
Really,
you
that was
just saying DDR and then a video of you smiling like an idiot going like this. We were all just like, this is amazing.
so good.
At first, I was like, he knows you play DDR with your feet, right? Like,
And then I was like, is he playing it under his
It's like
desk?
Par-
and
Par-
you can't
Paradise.
see it?
Yeah.
Is this like a DDR interpretive dance?
That was
We gotta- we
that was
gotta
a
be
I
real
thought
specific.
he set up like a sensor.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Real
Par-
I thought he was
When we
doing.
tell-
I thought it was a little IR.
When we
set.
tell Damiani, though, we got to
But yeah, I'm gonna. So yeah, new rule.
Yeah, I
that was
thought
a
I
happy
specific,
accident.
but
All of you need to say, please roll the video from now on. We don't rehearse
Got it.
any of this. I cannot read mine, so just
For sure.
just say roll video from going forward.
Yeah, let me read off some subs and stuff. Reserved resubbed, Ken Relay resubbed, Beish donated 30, Chen donated 100, Bobby Trizzle used 100 bits, Jesse Blue gave 5 subs, Mayor McFrumples gave $5, Snarky Puppers gave 100 bits, Karaz donated $102, Persian Prince donated $10, Bengal Party used 100 bits. This is for Blood. Donated
Nice.
$5.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
Mo D1212 used 9 bits. Talk 9. Tim O'Keefe donated $50. Sargbot resubbed. Carp Carter used a bit. And Zat Von Doot gifted a sub. And then
Thanks, everyone.
the Patreon stuff will take a bit to refresh.
Yeah,
I'll
thank
get
you,
that
Zap
on
Van Doot has given 298 gift subs in the channel. That's
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
wow.
2 to go, Zat.
Shout out.
Two to I like the way you
Holy
put it. I like it. Almost
Here
there.
you go. Get on that.
Almost, you're
Almost
so
there,
close.
almost there.
Just greet a little bit
Kiraz-
more. You're very
Kiraz
close.
mentioned with their $102 donation that Blood with You danced in an Invisible Walls review of Just Dance. I gotta watch
Yes,
that.
I remember that.
Oh, I
I've
remember
seen
that.
that.
Yep.
Old
That was
school.
early
Just
days.
Dance just sucks. I think that's what you
All
said
right.
at the end.
We ready?
Oh, I've got the Patreon now.
Ian, can you tease the synth stream at all?
Wait, we just got a Patreon?
No. The Patreon pledges refresh.
Got a bunch of
So, race pledge from Rennie, race pledge from David, and a new pledge from Steven. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I could tease the synth stream. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
tease
a
it,
luxury
tease it.
car. I've got a luxury car worth of synths, and I might as well use them. I don't know how I'm gonna set up the cameras in my bedroom, but I'll figure it out. It's gonna be awesome. I'll use my modular and my Mogwan and my MIDI stuff, and it'll be nuts.
Dude, I really want to do a DDR stream.
Sick.
DDR would be great.
Please.
All right, coming up next. Michael Huber.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
nervous.
Give me a sec, Huber.
Okay.
I
I brought chess. No, I'm just kidding.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
Might have a
Jones
shot.
is bringing Chaz. Yeah.
That was the joke that Jones brought.
Oh,
it, yeah.
God.
Oh, we could bring the interface from chess.com. Did you bring that?
I was gonna bring
Dude.
D&D chess.
I could tear that to pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Chess.com is a nightmare.
DDR is dead because Konami. That's all we need to know. Right?
I was
Oh.
always so pissed when I would go to a place and they had a pump it up machine and not a DDR machine. It would
What's
piss
pump
me
it
off.
up?
Bad DDR.
Exactly.
How do
Instead
you
of
make
being
it bad? It seems so
no,
simple to do.
okay. So instead of like up, down, left, right for arrows, it would be diagonal and a center one. And
What?
no.
Oh
not
no!
canon.
Yeah, that's great.
What?
Don't do that.
It's
Yeah.
similar to, but legally distinct from DDR.
Yeah.
I'm
Shout out
ready
to
for
Typing
you
of the
false
Dead.
DDR.
Typing of the
ready,
Dead
Huber.
was cool.
Typing of the Dead hype.
Oh, I thought you just said you brought Typing of the Dead. I was like, oh shit.
Damn, let's go.
Dude, if you
That'd be
brought Typing of the
cool.
Dead, that would be
That's
the
a
most
cool game,
inspired
dude.
pick ever.
Wow.
It'd be insane.
I am ready, Damiani. When you play the video, if you could just like at your own discretion, you're the director. Just
He just
we said
said,
roll
tell
the
him to
video.
play the
Just
video.
said.
He
No,
literally
no,
just said that.
no.
He said
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
but you got to tell me to
I said
play.
when. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think you want me to jump around is what you mean, right?
Yeah, just feel
it's-
free,
I know
feel
what
free.
it is. Yeah.
Cool. So the game I brought today to the Hall of Greats is God of War from 2018 because I think it is just a legendary game on so many levels, and it absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Greats. I want to just talk about adventure. Oh, you can roll it whenever, Damiani.
Okay.
Roll it.
There we go.
I want to talk about just this adventure you're on and how it's just on so many levels and what we appreciate from video games. The first is main quest and side quest and how it's just all integrated so perfectly. You can go off on the main quest and do that whole thing, but if you want to step off and do the side quests, you're going to be not only rewarded with resources that are all so meaningful. All the crafting in this game is so meaningful. There's this slow buildup of power, but it's a time for you and Atreus to get close and bond and learn these life lessons. Seemingly inconsequential side quests of going to eliminate some like random monsters ends up being this huge lesson for Atreus. And this happens all the time. So you're getting rewarded in the game, you're getting resources, you're getting rewarded with the story and your bonds. And also you're doing really awesome combat encounters. The way this game mixes up the encounters and giving you specific weapons that counter, you have your flame that counters frost counters flame. And the best part about combat too is that it is incredibly deep, but so inviting. So it's almost like there's always, it's like chess in a way, where there's always an optimal move to be made. There's an optimal move at all times, whether it's your shield, your blades, your axe, Atreus, a relic move, a runic attack. There's always an optimal move to do, but you don't really have to do it. There's so many different difficulties you can choose, and all but the Valkyries, you can really get through these fights using your own style and your own builds. But that doesn't mean that there isn't always an optimal move to do at any given time. And I just love that balance of super, super hardcore and in-depth, but also really accessible for everyone. Then I just want to talk about some of the bosses, the spectacle of it all. There are just so many big, memorable moments, from dragons to ogres to trolls to other pantheon gods, and just the writing also is another big highlight that I really want to focus on, because so many video games just will set up a premise or set up the archetype of a character. I'm even critical of some Resident Evil characters. I love these characters, but they're really just archetypes at the end of the day. And the writing of God of War allows these characters to build and grow. And that leads into that this is a reboot. This is a standalone game. you can play this on your own, but it's also drawing from so much history with this character without ever feeling in your face or fan servicey. Like, just the way it honors the past while embracing the present and even looking towards the future. And the growth of these characters on this journey. And Mimir as well. Shout out to Mimir. Just all the optional quests, so many optional things, just that journey, that exploration that we all know and love from video games. That's all killer, no filler. You want to experience every single thing in this game because it all has meaning, from the little dopamine of leveling up, getting XP, getting your skills, to all of the precious moments with Kratos and Atreus. It's just an absolutely unforgettable journey, and it is one of the greatest video games that you can play today. That is it. Love and respect. God of War.
18 seconds left.
That's it. Give the 18 seconds to Don.
Give it to Don. Good job, Huber.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm ready. Okay. Huber, so it's been a while since I played this game, but
Yeah.
I kind of remember fighting a lot of the same type of dudes over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel it's repetitive at all, or do you think there's enough variety going on?
I do. So some of the big guys, like I feel like the only time it gets a little redundant are the ogres and the trolls. But considering how, like, it's the trade-off of this game is really big, there is a lot of variety, but like within each zone there is a bit of repetition, again with the ogres and the trolls, but it's always just so impactful fighting them that it doesn't bother me too much, and they do a good job of spacing it out. Like, there's enough enemies as to where when one reappears, it's like, oh, I haven't fought one of those in a while, so I'm down to fight it.
Huber, I remember obviously really loving this game, but the story, like there are so many great moments in the story, but I remember the very end specifically, like, yes, Kratos and his son completed their journey, but it felt like where they left off in the story, I felt like I was kind of left hanging a little bit. Like there was obviously more to do in a way that I wasn't as totally satisfied as I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking, did you go back to the house after all that stuff?
Yes,
for sure. Definitely sets up the next one. And I think that's just the nature of a big franchise. Like, the game has to have an ending, but like a sequel, this is definitely not the end. But at the same time, Ben, that kind of excites me that this is only one chapter of this massive series. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. That's a good question. I felt fulfilled, but there's definitely more to come, which is exciting. I was left wanting more.
Sure.
How do you feel about the lack of sex mini games? I'm just
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Go, Blood.
Yes. So Hubert, one thing, kind of bouncing off what Ben was saying, what do you feel about the way that the different realms were developed, or maybe a lack of development, I might say, that like some of them felt kind of like smaller, kind of like bonus stages rather than you going to a whole other world? How do you think that really fits?
I love that, actually, because Midgard is like your main huge deal, which has so much to do in Midgard, like by itself. But then Alfheim has like its own huge story part, and Niflheim or whatever getting the frost stuff. I like that the ones for the story are like so focused, so I think it really helps the story and the pacing and everything. And then I like that Muspelheim is like this optional challenge world. You can go there, do a bunch of challenges. So I like the way all of that is handled. I think they did a great job with that.
Huber, I think my only criticism of God of War, or like the biggest one that just kind of made me bummed, was I just felt the world there's a lot in it, but no one like lives there. There's like 5 or 6 like people in the whole game that you like interact with, and like everybody else is an enemy. And so there's a lot of vibe of like, we got to save Midgard. And I'm like, for who? Nobody lives here. This is a game environment. This isn't actually like a place, where like people are.
I mean,
did it feel
it's
gamey to you at all or empty?
No, not at all, Jones, because it's the area you're in. I mean, once in the very beginning, when you're coming to that area, you encounter other humans, and it's like post-apocalyptic, like end times. You also see a lot of remnants of history. You see skeletons and bones and abandoned houses. This place has been wrecked, and it's in kind of this transition, probably from Nordic mythology to wherever, like Odin is kind of over the hill at this point. It's always alluded to. There's just so much lore to dig into. Yeah. That's it.
Nitpicky, I guess, but the puzzles, there's a lot of, ringing the
gonna get into
bells
this.
going on in that game, and I remember.
I love hunting those. Ringing the
But like,
bells, Brad.
you do that a lot, and it doesn't really change much.
Yeah, I mean, they're just little like mini ones for the
Sure.
treasure chest. The bigger puzzles I super like because it's more, finding like boxes and moving them, or like using levers, using the axe to freeze gears. I really appreciate. Did you say time?
Yeah, but you can.
Yeah, you
finish
can
it.
finish.
Finisher.
Yeah, just
I just have
freezing.
to let us know.
Freezing the things and like finding the crystals and like matching all those up. So, cool.
Great job, Huber.
Woo!
Awesome. So let me catch up
Sweat.
on some donations.
Sweating.
Now you're free.
Mfield, subscribe, thank you. Snyderverse Must Live donated $10.
Right on.
OG
great.
Jeremy resubbed. Bruno Joey donated $100. Thank you. Dapper Chocobo subscribed. Ryan, took me a second to figure out where that break was. Donated $21, saying, "I want that Sid Street. Let's get weird, Ian." Jessica Nerdy rated us with 24. Thank you to
Oh,
Thanks,
nice.
Jazz.
all of you guys if you're sticking around watching. Laura Munn resubscribed. Crone Zone resubscribed. Croldemort just gave a bunch of subs, 5 subs. And Modi1212 used 10 bits. And then over on Patreon, where am I at? Okay, Eric raised a pledge. Splurge34 raised a pledge. And Connor Rosine raised a pledge. Thank you.
Oh boy, coming up next, me.
Okay.
All right, I got no videos. I got nothing.
Give me a
Your fingers
sec.
on the
Yo,
trigger.
what was
Ian.
that Snyderverse?
All right,
Ready
if
to
you
rock.
have no thing, I'll leave
It's really
up
funny.
everyone then.
I got nothing.
Actually,
got
let me ask
notes.
this real quick, chat. Do you want me to focus in on Jones while he's doing his presentation, or do you want to see all of us? And what do you all think? Because last time we did focus on the person.
If he doesn't have a video,
No, there's no video. It's just Jones talking, and I think I'm gonna be the same way. So I'm just curious.
Looks
Yeah,
like
this
all-
sounds like they want everybody.
Yeah, I will
Yeah,
have
it
everyone
looks
up.
like
Yeah,
there.
people like to see
Give 'em
reactions.
everybody.
Sure.
Everybody.
here in the corner.
Bye. Yeah.
Dropping some truth.
Rock your body.
Remix. Yeah.
All right, you going when I go, Ian?
I go when you. I go. You. What is it?
You go.
Red light.
We
Green
go.
light.
Different
She
movie,
goes,
also
I
good.
go. We're doing like 8 different movies. I'll start. it when
Agreed.
you
I'm
start.
going for it.
Agree.
Let
I'm going.
me go, bull. You go. Weak. All right.
Backdraft.
Hit that timer. Shout out to MinMax for putting this game
Here we
in the old
go.
noggin there. I personally, I'm gonna put this out right up front. Personally, Arkham City is my favorite of the Arkham franchise. Arkham Asylum is without a doubt, like I brought GoldenEye previously to Hall of Greats. I think what Arkham Asylum more than anything does is this is one of the best licensed game that anybody has ever made, because Batman was such a tricky license. I mean, Superman, they still haven't solved it. Like Superman, they just gave up. Like the video game industry gave up on Superman. But like Rocksteady comes in, they're like, what can we do with this character this character's been in really good games, really good platformers, really good beat 'em ups, but like, what can we do that's not just taking this character and fitting it into a genre that already exists? And even some of the best licensed games that have ever been made mostly do that. They mostly just say, what's a shooter? And we'll just take the shooter trappings and we'll add on to it. And yes, there is a Metroidvania aspect to Arkham that they took, but I was imagining today explaining Arkham Asylum to someone, but not saying Batman. And you would get a minute and a half into that explanation, and the person would be like, "This is Batman, right?" And you'd be like, "Yeah, it's Batman." Like, you can't just be like, "Oh, well, it's a thing. You have guns or whatever. What do you think?" And it's like, "It's James Bond." You'd be like, "There's this guy. He goes to an island, and this inmate breaks out and takes over the island." You're like, "Is that Arkham?" Like, yes, it's Arkham, and you're that superhero. It's just the game is so quintessentially Batman, and does two things that I honestly took for granted. And going back and playing that game, I'm like, these are just so astounding in how clever additions they were to a Batman game, how influential they've been in our industry after that, and how brilliantly implemented they are in the game. I'll talk about the combat first, which is not my favorite of the two, but the combat being so quintessentially Batman. I love that there's like a moment at the end where you finally like get to Joker, and he throws a couple guys at you, and like, I don't get the vibe that Joker thinks these are gonna stop you. You know, it's like Joker's way of being like, haha, and you're like, just counter. Like, the difficulty in the game and you leveling up, like, your skills, I remember there being a much bigger skill tree. Like, you don't really level that much up. You just get better at, being Batman. You just get like, yeah, you get more health, but you don't necessarily need it. It's just about going in and intimidating people. And that combat has inspired, like, just that Arkham Asylum and Assassin's Creed just got together, and like dozens of other franchises were like, we'll just do this. I mean, this is going to be basically what combat's going to be like in this generation. Detective mode, on the other hand, is so brilliant and is so incredibly well thought out. For like, I think my fourth pass through this game, noticing how, because they added detective mode, they couldn't hide anything. They couldn't like, oh, this guy's just gonna spawn before he runs out around the corner. That guy was there the whole time. Like, you can see enemies, like so long before you actually go in and fight them. I saw like a skeleton through a wall that had its hand on its hip, and I'm like, who the heck is? Oh, that's Harley. That's why that character doesn't look like other characters. When characters sneak up on you, they won't if you're in detective mode. If there's someone's like hiding in a grate or hiding in a package, or there's one part that's kind of like a classic Doom like horror closet where all these things just come running out at you, and you can see them like crawl into the space before they come out. Like, you can see like dudes ready to fight before the door actually opens up and they come out. And I think that's so cool, not only just for obviously like a licensed game, but for this third person detective action game, for them to realize, if we're going to give you the ability to scan these things, then we have to kind of pull the curtain off the entire game. Like, we have to show you how all these rooms work, how all these places that you can't get to still have to exist in this world.
1 minute.
And the island is just so, just so well implemented because of that challenge that they gave themselves. There's just an absolutely gluttonous amount of writing from Paul Dini. Obviously, Conroy and Hamill are brilliant, but the thugs just keep talking and talking and talking. And I think even compared to like a lot of action games today, you go into a room and you get so much lore from them. There's so many characters referenced. There's so many villains in like Riddler trophies and posters and stuff that if you're a fan, you'll pick up on all that stuff. If you don't, it gives you the incentive when you unlock statues and stuff to go research it. The music's incredible, and I think the art style still really holds up. There's a remastered version you can play, which I played, but even seeing footage of the old version, a couple gens back, it is still an absolutely beautiful game. And it's just extremely dark. If you're a Batman fan and you never played it, it is a dark, dark story, which is fascinating that Dini got to write it. So going back to a game I dearly beloved, I realized it wasn't just something that I was fascinated because I'm a huge Batman fan. It's something that is absolutely excellent.
5 minutes. Good job. Used up the full 5 minutes. Are you the first one?
Yeah, Don gets nothing.
Yeah, right now.
You hear me, Don?
Don? Nothing. Good day.
I think, Brandon, something I might touch in on is boss fights. It's been a while since I played, but like Bane in particular kind of felt like big gorilla that used to have ram into a wall, not like somebody who's just as smart at outwitting Batman, but also very strong. How do you feel about the boss fights, having recently replayed?
It was I enjoyed all of them. It was interesting getting I thought the Poison Ivy was actually my least favorite because it's just very standard big thing. You're in a limited space, back forth projectiles. Bane I kind of dug because I like it's such a big version of Batman, and so it's nice fighting something bigger than Batman. And they introduce you to this whole concept of like these Venom enhanced monstrosities. It's kind of like the backbone of the whole plot, and they keep returning to it. And while I've fought bosses like that before, I did like a lot of tiny elements where I thought like ads were introduced at really interesting times to elevate the fight. I like that every time he goes and grabs a piece of rock, he actually takes that portion out of the wall, like the room actually gets damaged as he goes through it. I also like that just from a lore perspective, I like that he's very much victimized in the story, like he's very much used as a pawn, by the Joker, and so it's neat like when he's introduced in the story. And I don't think the fight takes too long. I think it's an interesting elevation of the combat where it's like now you're gonna have to face stuff like this that you're not just gonna get to. I know it's satisfying to club everybody in the face when they sneak up on you, but you can't do that with these things. And so it's just kind of another way that they keep introducing new tools.
Jump in, Huber.
Yeah, not just boss fights, Jones, but combat in general. I just think is so much more improved in City. The blade dodge takedowns, the gadgets, the dismantling the guns. It just does make Arkham Asylum feel so basic. So to me, this is the quintessential argument of do you like the short and sweet Arkham Asylum, or do you like more variety, bigger open world? So sell me on Asylum versus City.
I was thinking about that, Huber, because I'm thinking of games that I just like City for a lot of reasons. I think the ending of City is better, but I want to give it to Arkham Asylum because City did improve on it, but I think the improvement of the mechanics of Asylum to me is not as impressive as thinking up specifically, like, how does this guy fight? Like, what does it sound like? How big is he? How big are the enemies that he's fighting? What are these specific combos? And I think the challenge mode that they implement, that's cool. It wasn't like DLC, like that was baked into the game, and that was very, very dense and very elaborate. You could fight as Joker and there was a pre-order bonus for one of the versions. So you could really take that to the nth degree and really challenge yourself. You think about combos now, one thing that Arkham did, I forgot, is if you punch the air, the combo's gone. You have to land every single hit. And so for someone like me, I don't really sweat the difficulty because I'm just RPing as Batman because he's one of my favorite characters. But I think if you really want to challenge yourself with the combat, you can't do that. Yes, there are more tools that are available later in the game. They've really ironed out a lot of the loose ends of it. But I think just thinking up how satisfying that would be, realizing that grabbing someone's leg and breaking it, that's so key to what he does. And to me, it's so satisfying. I forgot throwing people, how fun that is. There's so many elevated platforms you fight on. You can just once you daze somebody, you just chuck them over a ledge, hear them scream on the way down. It's great.
Brandon, I actually just replayed Arkham Asylum not that long ago, and so it's pretty fresh in my mind. And one of the biggest complaints I have against Arkham Asylum is I really feel like it fumbles the ending. I think both narratively and mechanically, the Titan Joker fight is not satisfying. I don't think it's a great fight. I don't think it really exemplifies what the combat is all about. And narratively, the way that it is presented, it feels like it just kind of happens, and it doesn't really feel special for this big climactic moment. I feel like they kind of turn one of the most insidious and intelligent Batman villains, the most iconic one, and just kind of turn him into a generic video game final boss.
I've been prepared for this question, and I'll tell you what, Ben, you're 100% right. I have an issue with that ending because I was on this deep dive. They threw something else at me that I was not expecting, and it made me think about it more and more. It's kind of like Civil War, where when he says to Zemo, you lost, and Zemo's like, did I really lose? I think one interesting way to look at that ending is the helicopter that's watching it. News are watching the whole time, and they're wondering what the hell is going on this island. There's a rumor that Batman's dead for a lot of the game, and they're like, but that's unconfirmed. We don't know. We don't know if there's a danger to the city. We don't know if Joker's taken over the island. We don't know what's going on, the status of. So it has that kind of Die Hard vibe the whole time. And this is their Die Hard ending, where it's at the tallest point in all of Arkham, and the world is watching. All of Gotham is watching this. And yeah, Joker loses, but Joker loses all the time. He kind of makes Batman look like an idiot a little bit, and you get a very rewarding moment of Batman like kind of resisting this thing that Joker has been taken over by. And so from a plot standpoint, that I actually did appreciate that more, that Joker, that, you know, yeah, Joker wants to win all the time, but at the end of the day, he still gets his primetime moment. And in that way, Batman loses even if he gets to, you know, defeat him in that ending. And so it was a little silver lining last time I went through where I was just like, I don't like this ending either. And I'm like, oh, okay, if you think about it that way, as a Bat fan, I dig it.
Huh. I don't feel like Joker...
35 over.
That's
well,
what
time's
every
been
time.
up. Time done
damn
been
it.
up.
Yeah,
for-
I think you
for
could probably
37
say, at
seconds.
least say time.
Say
and then
time.
Somebody
I
can
can't get a
finish
word
a
in
sentence or
edgewise.
something. But yeah.
Brad, we'll talk after the.
Whoa,
I have lots
what
of-
is this?
Don't get me wrong. I like that
Brad-
game.
Whoa.
Oh no, I'm
Mr. Jones.
eager to discuss it. I talked for 6 hours over
Shady
midnight,
deals.
and I could talk for
Wow, we're
more.
closing in on that 10K. Heavens.
Yeah,
Heavens.
so
Thanks, everybody.
Betsy.
Let me get some shout outs here. So Classical resub, Ostentation donated $20, The Dream donated $20, Nicholas subscribed first time, thank you. Justinius used 4 bits, Dan Berlin used 11 bits, Bobby Trizzle used 100 bits, Dino Pulse Zeta resubscribed 36 months in a row, Canlick donated $20, KK resubscribed for 59 months, Neuromon donated $100, Matt Kaufman donated $60,
Ugh.
Oscar M96 resubscribed for 27 months. DRD 714 resubscribed for 45 months. And then on Patreon, Diggles raised their pledge. Swordfish raised their pledge. Wyatt pledged for the first time. Danny raised the pledge. And DJ Riboflavin raised their pledge. Thank you, everybody.
Great name.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, everyone. Gonna melt your ears with some science. Hopefully. I'll have to practice so I don't suck for you.
On Sesame
Yeah,
Street,
whatever.
Cookie Monster did a rap about vegetables, and I was like, oh!
That's off
Almost
brand,
as
Cookie
good
Monster.
as Bloods, Cookie Monster.
Oh,
Almost as good.
Mm.
Did you see Cookie Monster's recent quote where he says, "Don't cry because Cookie gone, smile because Cookie happened," or whatever? And I like
Yeah,
almost
I mean,
started
that's-
crying. I was
that's-
like, what?
That's the thing about Cookie Monster, man. He's deep.
Deep.
His vocabulary is not, but his mind is.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah. Who's next?
Bam. Recognize that person? Who's that?
shit.
Who's that?
Oh,
In it.
All right, so
Silent
mine,
Hill 2, here we go.
I think
mine
every
is a
time.
video. Mine is a video with audio. So are you just gonna full screen it or?
Dude, I
I
bet
could-
it's Shattered Memories.
I can just full screen the video in.
Okay, yeah.
Let me
Everyone,
get it set up.
you'll have to watch it on the stream, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I guess we can't have our audio up because their reactions will be. low.
Yeah, I'll mute
Yeah,
you.
that'll make it too hard
Yeah,
to.
I'll mute
focus.
you.
I'll mute myself.
Yeah, if you just mute yourselves, just mute yourselves. Actually.
All right, everybody mute yourself.
Okay.
Alright,
Mute yourself.
nothing, remember playback.
And I won't run a timer because it's a video.
Exactly 5 minutes. Okay. Just tell
Oh,
me
give it
when
your best shot, Hank.
Just tell me when to start. I'm gonna mute myself now too. So just
Start
let me know
whenever you
when to
want.
start.
Start whenever. During the last 3 attempts to have Silent Hill 2 inducted into the Hall of Greats, much was made of the story. And while the story is almost certainly one of the best in the history of gaming, for this 5th attempt at having Silent Hill 2 inducted into the Hall of Greats, I shall be talking a little bit about what it's actually like to play Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is perhaps one of the best embodiments of a normal person trying to survive an abnormal scenario. James isn't a commando or even really all that in shape, and he's just got to deal with this whole mess. And that's not some excuse for awkward or aged controls. The game actually has a couple control options to suit your preferences. I've always just found Silent Hill 2 to be fun to navigate. Its foggy landscapes, a horrid joy to explore, its puzzles intriguing and beguiling, and its combat impactful and appropriately jarring. You truly feel the kill as you repeatedly whack an enemy with a board with a nail in it. It feels visceral, violent, almost wrong in the best way, which, as you may recall from one of the previous 6 times Silent Hill 2 was presented for acceptance into the Hall of Greats, also plays heavily into the story. But we're not here to talk about the story. We're here to talk about thumbs on plastic, heart in throat, eyes covered, ears perked, nail-biting action, baby.
Don't you want to touch me?
Silent Hill 2 blasts you with tense exploration, an otherworldly town shrouded in supernatural fog, a living puzzle beneath your wretched feet, locales that feel hauntingly familiar to your own real life. Have you dreamt of this town before? An expert escalation of locations, delving from occluded streets to a derelict apartment building to a hospital. The fear increases as the walls close in. The tension is palpable, and you feel just as lost and scared and helpless as James as you try to make your way toward destiny. But where James might feel hopeless, you don't feel frustrated as long as your eyes and ears are open and your loins are girded against the harsh truths of kick-ass video gameplay madness. All right, should we do what Jones did and he hates this game forever? Just like run around the lake?
Wait.
Yeah, what a maniac.
What? Why?
He said he ran around the lake and then it's a dead end and he got really mad and he hates this game. The soundtrack is so damn good, the composer is used to advertise new games to this day. Like, come on. Not to mention the sound design. Monsters and sirens and attacks and distant noises are all expertly crafted to forge a world and gameplay experience that has stood the test of time. The menu noises alone make me want to cry out to the heavens for deliverance from the painful bliss of perfection never again to be achieved by the works of man. Not to mention the genius use of radio static to indicate monsters' proximity. How cool is that?
Hi there, everybody! Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another exciting edition of Trick or Treat!
And now, this might venture a little close to the content of the previous 8 attempts to get Silent Hill 2 into the Hall of Greats, but all the sound design, the monster design, the world design all tie back into the narrative. So yeah, this is some thoughtful-ass game design. It's good stuff. Also, as you might recall from the previous 12 times Silent Hill 2 was eligible for entry into the Hall of Greats, Silent Hill 2 has a great ending. But did you in fact know that it has 6 great endings? Did you also know that which ending you get is highly dependent on not just what you do during the game, but how you play the game? If you choose to look at certain items or treat certain characters well and keep them healthy and close by, you get points towards certain endings. A few more fanciful endings require collecting secret hidden items or doing some truly out-of-this-world things. It's just another cool way in which Silent Hill 2 is a great game to play and replay again. To sum up, this game is fun to play. Fuck.
You guys gotta unmute yourselves.
Yes. Yes.
There's that.
Yes.
Nice.
We also hit 10K, I see.
Yep, we hit 10K during that presentation.
Synstream!
Synstream, baby!
Let's go through
I
before
should
reading out all the names,
sample-
but thank you.
I should
Wait a minute.
sample Silent Hill 2 soundtrack into my machines too.
I just got a pop-up notification. Steam has just finished downloading Warhammer Vermintide 2.
Oh,
Boy.
man, it's all coming true.
We made it.
It's all coming true tonight.
So if I watch your playthrough, I should start at that point where you got to the edge of the lake, and then
Well,
I
if
can
you
go
notice,
back and be like,
I'll
"There's the
start the
door."
timer. If you notice on the map that happens right as I start throwing shade at you, Jones, the place
Yes.
you're supposed to go is underlined in red on the
Okay, good.
map.
Good.
But yeah,
Red, you
sorry,
say.
Jones. I
All
could when I accidentally found that part of the stream and I was like, I have to.
Well, the video itself is shade as well, because I was the one that was like, "Yes, but
Yeah,
what's it like to play Silent Hill 2?"
last time you did say that, so I was addressing that. Yep.
And yeah, the clumsiness. I think the
fun.
first thing you said was the best point, that he's just a dude. And he's got to deal with
But
it
it
all.
doesn't. But it
I thought that was
doesn't
really
feel
well said.
like bad controls. Like I still think that the game, like you can play tank or not tank, like, and it's not it's not a modern game, but like, it feels good to play it.
I saw you. The swimming pool area stood out where I could see there was 3 little bobbins in the pool, and you were just kind of running around him. If you've played a couple times, like when you go back and play these, are you spooked? Like, are you scared? Like, I don't remember what's in this room. Or are you like, I know there's 2 of these here, and da da da.
There are
run past them.
There are definitely a couple of rooms that are still a little tricky, just because you don't know. what the enemies are going to do and where they are. There's a couple of sequences in particular toward the end. I want to say toward the end of the hospital where you're in like a crazy weird maze thing, and there are these crawling guys that can skittle out at you, and then at another point, Pyramid Head, official name Red Pyramid Thing, is chasing you around this like circular thing, and I actually show the knife. You can get his big knife. That part's really intense, just because it's he's just freaky, and he's like right on your ass, and it's pretty crazy.
Ian, because I am contractually obligated to cross-examine one of the best video games of all time.
You brought it last time.
I know. The voice acting in Silent Hill 2, I just feel like it's definitely of its era. Like, I think if they were to redo Silent Hill 2, I think they would... It would just straight up be better performances. Do you think the quality of the voice acting hurts the game at all?
I mean, the OG version, yeah, the voice acting is wild. I mean, I find it charming. It's like OG Resident Evil, where it's like a funny charm element. But since we changed the rules of HOG to include kind of every version of a game, there's the HD remake, which is horrible, but they did re-record some of the dialogue, and the PC. Anytime it was widescreen on there, it was the enhanced edition, which is what I streamed through. We did a full playthrough on the channel using the PC enhanced edition, which is just marvelous. And so many sound things have been... They didn't like re-record VO, but for that one, but the sound has been much improved. So I think it's definitely a fair complaint against the OG, though I find it charming. Many of those problems have been addressed by the fans in the enhanced edition.
I'm probably the minorities with this game, but one thing I do like this game, but something I do not like about this game is the radio. I find it eliminates a lot of the tension and surprise for me. It feels like if I'm playing the game and someone's gonna constantly tell me like, hey, there's an enemy coming up, there's an enemy nearby. How do you think Silent Hill keeps the tension still with that?
I think because the way that it grows more intense when you have it. To me, it functions basically like the motion detector in Aliens, where, except it's less specific than that, but where just the noise of it and increasing intensity of it, for me, it drives up the intensity, because there are plenty of times in the game where, especially in like big foggy open areas, where you have no idea where the enemies are coming from, but you just know that they're there. And I think it's really cool, and I think it's a smart solution to a problem of the time, because they couldn't probably have a huge draw distance and stuff when this game was released, and so I thought it was a cool way to say like, hey, you're surrounded right now. We can't technically show you that, but yeah, you're in trouble. 15 seconds left.
Ian, what's taking so long?
You guys don't vote for it, man. Just please vote.
Well, you guys, you finally talked about gameplay, man.
Gameplay's great.
This is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think time just ended, so I will seriously answer that question though. I do think that we have tried like 4 or 5 times. I don't know how many times actually, but
it was like 14, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was 35 times. We always did just kind of talk about the story, and like kind of forgot that it's also a fun game. And Jones is correct. Like I think you were teasing, but like sort of, but like you were right to ask. And hopefully I addressed that a little bit tonight.
I'm always teasing, sort of.
Same Z.
Super Dirty 8-bit. Ah!
Wow. So many good subs.
Gift subs coming
shit.
through.
How many was
Yeah,
that?
really good job, Ian.
Nice.
Yeah, good job, Ian.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Very nice.
excellent.
Very nice.
Let me go through some subs and all that fun stuff. Eric upgraded their pledge to $7. Gotts pledged $7 on Patreon. Colby pledged $1 on Patreon. Kennel pledged $5 on Patreon. And then this is a long list now. Let me go back down here and find where I was. Okay. Zanfair subscribed on Twitch. Paladin BS used 200 bits. Sandcrawler F1 resubscribed 49 months. Blake Randy 97 donated 25. Manda Panda donated $5. DK Shadow resubbed. Corn 7809 donated $151. Nicholas donated $50. Katie Garza donated $10. Joshua Lehman donated $20. Stephen Colbert 36 gave 5 gift subs. Sage Mo Q donated $50. Silent Constant donated $100. Wes FX donated $10.
Ah, man.
Super Dirty 8-Bit gifted 20 subs. Elepra1 resubscribed 31 months. Zoku88 resubscribed 41 months. Roaring Buttocks resubscribed 46 months.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
Love
you.
and
Yeah.
respect.
Thank you.
Wild.
Some good games on this list. Some good video games.
There's a question about how many episodes of Patriot.
Yeah, I saw that.
For
I'm
the
saying
watch
minimum.
party?
Like a good, like at least
Three or four?
three, dude. Minimum,
Yeah,
yeah,
3 or
like
4.
half the season seems
Yeah.
potential.
I mean, if he's really loving it, hey,
Yeah.
who's to say?
Yeah.
Who's to say? Maybe Omar will pop in. Like I
I
don't
mean,
know.
shit. Once you watch the Snyder Cut, you can watch anything.
Yeah, man. It's
4
like
hours.
It's like Das Boot and a half.
Das
that
Boot,
Snyder
like
Cut.
yeah.
What a
Return
review.
of the King extended edition, 4.5 hours. Like anything less, dude, is easy.
Dude, the Snyder Cut turned me into a believer. I really like the Snyder Cut.
Loved
I
it.
didn't hate it.
I
We
really
need
liked
to
it.
restore the Snyderverse, honestly, dude. The correct timeline.
Yes.
Correct timeline.
Affleck.
Correct timeline.
Yep. Yep.
We'll have to do a spoiler
Had a
mode on it
blast.
soon.
Had a blast.
Promises. Oh, shucks. Who's up next? It's Bam.
Oh.
Boo. Bam.
Yeah, it's a band.
For my Hall of Grace presentation, I asked that you vote for Silent Hill 2.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right, Damiani, I'll go ahead and start when you play the music. Play whenever you.
I'll
are
say
ready.
play when I play it. All right.
Okay.
Ready? On 3, 2, 1. Play is what I'll do. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right, so my Hall of Grace entry this time is a game that I was actually nervous to bring because I think it's hard to do justice to the scope of this game and how important it is and how like incredibly fun it is to play even today, and that is Diablo 2. Without a doubt, one of the best action role-playing games ever made, and a defining game that I think it really speaks to the response that Resurrected had, because this game absolutely deserves that level of adoration. And I want to talk about, the first thing I want to bring up is not gameplay mechanics or loot or randomization or any of the things that you typically most commonly associate with ARPGs. I want to talk about atmosphere. The music in this game is perfect. I don't know how else to describe it. It makes you feel like you are exploring a place that is actually haunted, that you are actually going through lands that have been taken over by pure evil. The song Rogue Encampment, for example, the acoustic guitar sounds like it's coming from another world. Like there's just these like carefully plucked notes that just echo in a way that it sounds like you're like listening to a ghost. It's incredible. And there are so many games, right, that we can think of a limitless number of games where you kill monsters or demons or some sort of fodder or whatever. And you do that in Diablo 2 as well. You will kill thousands of things. But in Diablo 2, even the smallest fodder that you're killing contributes to the atmosphere, and is so beautifully presented. Like just in the first act, when you fight the corrupt rogues, when they die, they let out this terrible cry of pain as they fall backwards, and their souls literally come up from their ruined bodies. The Fallen, which are these little imps, when they die, their bodies whip around and a stream of blood like quickly splashes on the ground. If you kill one of their leaders, these fallen shaman that are like leading the groups, the others will scatter away in fear. Because you know they're cowards. You know, they're only strong when they have kind of the might of everybody and when they can be resurrected by the shaman. But it's not just the enemies either, especially if you compare it to Diablo 1, where you're kind of just going down this like singular place. You travel all over in Diablo 2, and the environments are just as haunting as everything else that I've described. I mean, you'll go into dingy catacombs where there are large pools of blood within crumbled stone floors, and there'll be just corpses hanging out in these large pools of blood. You go to treacherous jungles with these ziggurat-like structures that have blood splattered on the walls, and there are wooden huts littered throughout. And like the catacombs and the jungle, like just very different vibes from each other. But more than and along with the atmosphere, I mean, this game, like I said, you could just pick it up today and play it and have such a good time. It is pretty much endlessly entertaining. And a big part of that, of course, is how excellent all of the classes are, right? So the Necromancer, I mean, you are summoning allies from your dead enemies. The Druid, you can transform into mighty beasts. The loot is really, really smart, and I love the way that they balance inventory. And I think it's actually better than something like Diablo 3, where you have to consider potions and town portals and identify scrolls. Like, you have to figure out how much to bring with you, and you have to consider that, because bringing more of that stuff means that you won't be able to pick up as much loot. And I think it's more of a balancing act in that way that is really, really smart. And it makes the loot exciting to get. I feel like Diablo 2 does a really good job of not drowning you in loot, but also making it feel like you're constantly progressing. I think too many games inspired by actions by RPGs today just kind of spit up loot at you all the time. And when you're going through Diablo 2, like if it's your first time, you don't feel that way. Like, the upgrades feel really meaningful. And when you get through an area or you kill a boss, I feel like those moments are really exciting as a result. And it also has a really great difficulty as well. Like, it just, again, that first time on normal, like, it's challenging, and you have to think about it and you have to be careful, but it's not completely overwhelming.
3,
Nice.
2, 1, time.
Nice. Nice timing
Very
there.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Tough competition.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Locked and loaded.
Okay, so Ben, I've played maybe 5 minutes of Diablo 2, but I have played Diablo 3. And it sounds like what I hear about from a lot of people is that Diablo 2 is they really love the tone about Diablo 2. This much darker tone than 3.
Totally.
And you brought up a few aspects, like maybe like potions being more important, but like what really makes this game so special to so many people?
It's a lot. That is a loaded question. I feel like we could talk about it the entire time. You mentioned the tone and the atmosphere, but it's a lot of things. So I talked about, I think what's great about Diablo 2, right, is I talked about that first run and how like intense I felt like the difficulty was and how exciting loot was. Like, I think Diablo 2 is just great from the word go. And I feel like the problem with Diablo 3 is there is absolutely a fantastic experience there, but you really got to like constantly tweak it. And the campaign, the storytelling in Diablo 3 is kind of disappointing. It got better with Reaper of Souls. It got better with Adventure Mode, but it wasn't like great out of the gate. And I feel like Diablo 2, you boot it up right now, right this minute. Like, you don't have to fiddle with it at all, and you can have a great time. That's the long and short of it. There's more answers with it, how they changed different aspects of the game, but to sum it up, yeah.
You know how I play RPGs, Ben. I overlevel myself at the first opportunity. That's how I played Diablo 3. Like, I was not that Diablo 3 player that was like, I need that difficulty just grinding away at me the whole time. It's like, no, I just want to wreck this game. I just want to run through and just mow everybody down. That's what Diablo means to me. Right. Can I play Diablo 2 that way? Does that kind of diminish the joy of the game, or is that not the way to play it, or should you always have that difficulty in front of you?
It's not. So when I talk about it difficulty, I'm not saying like, oh, you have to be difficult to be good, or it needs to be a challenge, but the game has to be interesting, right? And I think the problem that I run into with Diablo 3 sometimes, and especially early on with Diablo 3, is I felt like I wasn't even really doing anything. Like things just fell so easily. And again, like you kind of have to tweak it to get it right. It's not about challenge necessarily. It's not like, oh, this is hard, therefore it's good. It's that I felt like the difficulty in Diablo 2 with enemy variety, with challenging boss fights, with the environment itself, right? It was constantly engaging. The difficulty pushes back enough that you want to keep playing. It's part of the reason why it's so addictive. And so it's not just like hard for the sake of being hard. I think when I talk about the difficulty and like it being a really satisfying going through normal run, it's because it's constantly engaging with the variety and the things that it's presenting at you.
And do you ever feel like the game is do you ever feel like it's too dependent on the numbers, or are you having fun regardless, and do you feel like you're able to play in a way mechanically that doesn't always specifically rely on your power level?
I mean, that can be part of the reason why action role-playing games are so fun, right? Like, absolutely, numbers are huge and, you know, are where the bulk of your power come from, but there is some dexterity to it. It's not a turn-based game, right? It's not like you don't have all the time in the world to think about it. So if you put yourself in a bad situation, or, you know, you run out of health potions, or you run out of mana potions and you can't cast the spells that you need to get out of a situation, you will die. And so there is some level of dexterity there. And I think in addition to the numbers, that's what makes it so intoxicating is like it's a game where you're constantly clicking, right? But it's because you're making micro decisions all the time. You run into a room and there's a big group of enemies and it's like, oh, okay, what does this mob do? And all that stuff. And so it is a very active game, despite how many numbers there are.
Ian, you're muted, I think, maybe?
Oh.
Oh, I just can't think of any criticism.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, either.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure.
Good game.
Like, I hear
The game is good.
Yeah, I hear the game has historically had really good community support with the modding scene.
Yeah.
Am I correct with that? So my question about that, since that you told me that's true, is that an indication of some short-sightedness on Blizzard's part, or do you think that the game itself, as like its original version, was solid enough, and that it was just like maybe the community was so passionate about the game that's like that speaks to how good it was in the first place?
So I would argue that it is the second one, that Diablo 2 is so beloved even today that is why the community has been so active and so supportive of it, is just because it's coming from a deep love of the game. Not a like, oh God, we need to fix this kind of mentality.
That time was up. Yep. Good stuff.
Nice.
Diablo 2, baby.
Throw some shout outs here. Francisco on Patreon raised their pledge to $15 per month. Nathan raised to $15 per month. And Jeff ZOVGM Easton raised to $60 per month.
Nice.
And then
Thank you.
on Twitch, Evco resubscribed 61 months. Milo-san gave a sub. Attack Mode resubscribed 25 months. Mo D1212 has used 10 bits. Bobby Trizzle used 100 bits. Justin's FTW subscribed with Prime. And Northstar Ken donated $5. Thank you.
Thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here to take all of your minutes, Don Casanova.
Okay, so
Don, you can have my 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Thanks, Don.
Brad can choose to give a minute and a half.
Brad
Hubert
gave
can
me
give
a
a minute,
minute. I think
and
Blood had 15 seconds.
Blood
What do
has
you have?
18 seconds.
So I had a minute. You
Check
had
it.
18
Time.
seconds.
Oh yeah,
Thank
whatever.
you. Thanks
Everything
for all the
I
extra
have.
time.
Just
Thank
do
you.
your thing, Don.
I'm putting you to
If Don could
7,
save
8.
time in a bottle.
I'm putting you to 8:48, Don.
Really? Wow. I'm typing it in so I
Nice.
can
Just
keep track. Well,
double
this is
Down
a
here, it's
cakewalk.
Don's time. Dawn's
Just
time
double
down
check,
here.
Down
Dawn.
here.
I didn't
Dawn,
see any
what-
video from you unless you sent it to me during.
No video
Okay.
necessary. In fact, no imagery necessary. However, this is a very different presentation tonight, so let me explain it a little bit because
I'm starting your time right now, Don.
No. Hold on. I need to give you some,
Preamble
I need
your
to give you
presentation.
instructions. I need to give you
Got it, Don.
instructions. There are instructions required before the presentation begins. Fellow allies, instructions are incoming. This is not the presentation. Listen, I don't want anyone to be confused. I'm going to need everyone committed. I do appreciate the extra time. This is good. But I still
You're
need
reading
everyone.
from a script.
I need everyone committed. This isn't a script, Ian. There's no script here.
You
There's
wrote
some
that
notes.
in the script.
There's some notes. No, listen. All right. Everyone here will have to answer in a succinct way. A lot of times just yes or no because
Whoa.
I don't have a
So
lot
audience
of time.
participation.
Every
Audience
single one of
participation.
you will be
Okay.
engaged. All right.
I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready. I'm fully
My
ready.
allies. So let me tell you here. Now look, disclaimer, not
I'm
the
starting your time
presentation.
now.
Disclaimer. Tonight's presentation will be using witness/expert testimony from the fellow allies here, okay? I will create a compelling case for my nominee to be one of the greats beyond a reasonable doubt. Remember those words, beyond a reasonable doubt. The evidence of the testimony provided tonight will lead to us concluding the greatness of this game, okay? Jones, let's get started. 2009, you were employed at GameTrailers.com. What was your position there?
A creative director.
Okay, during this time, the credibility of your staff as critical reviewers of games, their taste in general, would you describe it as being some of the most discerning in the industry? Overall, they had pretty great taste in games.
Overall.
Okay, that's a yes. They had great taste in games. Jones, moving on, Blood, you were also employed by GT during August of 2009 and the subsequent months, okay? To the best of your recollection, were there often groups of employees that would gather in the capture area to play or spectate when a particularly good game was displayed?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how large?
I know where this is going.
How large? What percentage of the staff would gather to be considered a large group? Would you say? What percentage of the staff
To be
would be a
considered
large
group
for one
or
of
to be
these things, yeah.
or what would be percentage
dragging
would
out the
be
time.
doing this particular
60,
game?
70? The majority of the staff, right? That would be considered large. The
Majority,
majority
no,
of the
not
staff.
no, not majority. I would
That
say
would-
like 20% max.
What?
Okay, that's good. 20%. Remember that, okay? 20%. How many employees at GT at this time? Rough estimation, Jones.
Oh, it's 30?
Okay, this is good. Now, Bloodworth, a little bit more. Would the groups of individuals that would gather, would they also sometimes occasionally gather at lunch, possibly after work, if there was a particularly curious game?
Not at that level.
would gather-
They'd be ducking out of work.
Okay, all right.
wouldn't
That's
be
as far
using
as you
their
remember.
break time.
So he doesn't, his foggy memory, you're not sure. How long would you estimate these? You know what, Ian, let's move on to you.
Hey.
It's been well documented. Thank you, Bloodworth. If you are a fan of Bloodworth and the Soul series, what would you describe the single shared factor in all of these? Oh no, I forgot to start my self-timer. What am I at here?
6:14.
Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. I'm going to slow down.
Don't
So
slow
that-
down.
Slow
Because I want
down.
everyone listen closely. I want everyone to take in what they're hearing. I hope they remember what they've heard so far. Okay, Ian,
Yeah.
you're a big fan of Bloodborne, the Soul series. What's the single shared factor in all of those games which makes them great in one word or short phrase?
Zeitgeist.
Steep, balanced challenge. Yes?
I meant,
Ben.
That's what I meant.
Moving on to Ben.
That's
Thank
not
you,
one
Ian.
word.
Thank you, Ian. It's a short phrase.
Short phrase. It's a short
Yeah.
phrase.
You're a connoisseur of the game marketplace. Many purchases. You have an extremely keen eye towards quality and value. The balance between them. If the game is great, if you've determined it to be great, but the cost of the game is lower than the market level, it's cheaper upon its release. Does that not add an aspect to its greatness? Make it more great slightly, or maybe just an added shade to its greatness? Yes?
It is certainly appreciated.
Yes. Brad, As the most prolific GOTY nominator, you've pushed a lot of games through. What is the common element or a couple common elements, whatever, that all your greats that you've gotten into the hall, proven greats, may share between them? Common element. Fun,
Great
replayability. Yeah, there you go. Fun, gameplay. Okay, great gameplay. Lastly, Huber. No, Huber, we're not there yet. Can hype alone carry a game very far after its release and play? In other words, a game the whole world's excited about, maybe, but I mean, then it comes out and it's actually not great. How long before that hype? I mean, can that hype last more than a day or two, even before people kind of, recognize what it is?
Yeah, you can last a week, but the game's got to be good. Hype is a double-edged sword. It's a weapon and a responsibility, and it can be a blessing and a curse.
That's it. That's wonderful. All right, Damiani. Lastly, let's seal this all together, everybody. This is beautiful. You were employed at GT during August and the fall of 2009. Do you recall a physics-based racing puzzle platforming game for the Xbox 360 by the name of Trials HD? Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall large groups of GT employees gathering to play and spectate this game?
Yes, I do.
Would you estimate that these groups were larger than the average size? And did they last, if you can recall, was this happening possibly in lunch, after lunch, and for several, not 1 week, not 1 day, but several weeks, possibly over a month? Possibly, you recall.
It was very decent sized groups, as I recall.
Yes. Probably
I would classify the
majority
mentality as obsessed.
With the obsessed. Now, were the groups the majority of employees? Were they more than 10 employees?
Maybe a little less, right around that amount.
Well, it depends what time of the day, but at certain times they would well exceed 10, I think, right?
5+ at least. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Okay, what made this game so great? Remarkable challenge that motivated everyone to achieve what seems impossible. Okay, it brought everyone to try this. Great value. The game was released at a lower than market value price, and the entertainment value, forget about it, was well worth a full priced game. Massive replayability and continuous fun, as Brad pointed out. The in-game level editor is the same editor they used to design the game, the exact same. So the players got the opportunity. Thank you, Ian. Now this is great. What a night. The players got the opportunity to create levels for this game in the exact same way that the developers that made the game, with absolutely no limitations. Okay, this is unprecedented. Not only that, but the level editor itself is fun. It's a game in itself. You're designing levels, but it's nonstop fun. It's gameplay. Jones, you know how difficult drudgery of designing a level in Dreams, as beautiful as the game is, it's not always entertaining, right? I mean, it's a little bit of a slog at times, but Trials HD, that one was just absolutely remarkable. It's like you're playing the greatest couch co-op game ever created in history. I think we could all agree it was what was bringing those crowds of discerning, some of the best in the industry together, everyone congregating for weeks upon weeks. The vast majority of the beautiful legacy of game trailers. Can you imagine? This game must have been great. What else could it be? If you described this, just
1 minute.
Only listen to the evidence tonight, my fellow allies. Only what we've talked about. Forget everything else you know, except the last 7 or 8 minutes. This game, you would have to. You would have to conclude beyond a reasonable doubt that we're talking about a great game. I hope you vote that way. It certainly sounds like you believe it. I appreciate you all helping me with this. I think this went very well. I mean, it feels like we're all in agreement. And I cede the rest of my time to Damiani.
Oh my God! 24 seconds goes to Damiani.
Wow, we made it.
First time in history.
Wow.
Don made it under time.
Don,
Very nice.
you achieved it.
That rivaled, that rivaled your wave race demo for me. The colored liquid.
God.
Wow.
Dude, it was the
thanks.
wrong color.
Thanks,
You're
Rick.
so good, dude.
Thanks for the extra time.
Don, that was incredible.
Okay.
All right, back down to 5 minutes for the cross-examination.
All right.
Okay. Don, I think there's one potential flaw in your argument. And you're talking about a bunch of people gathering at work for a game they didn't have to pay for. It was on a console that was at work. So the price really doesn't make much of a difference. And I think that, again, as I was saying, I don't think a lot of people were doing this on their lunch breaks. On their lunch breaks, they were getting food. And, you know, the people that were there late were usually just there working late. There would be a couple of people that hang around and play Trials. But I think most of this time is spent waiting for exports and other downtime in the office that people were there. What do you say to that?
What I say to that,
already
Blood?
dead.
I appreciate your rebuttal, but I couldn't be more inaccurate because people were playing during lunch, large groups. How do I know every time? I didn't have the luxury of just leaving my computer at any point to go play something. I left during lunch after work, and these groups were still, they were leaving. I'm saying I've never seen anything like this before. How do I know it wasn't just any other free game that anyone got to play? Because, Blood, the same thing, name one other game during the entire history of game trailers, one other masterpiece that sustained the group size for the amount of time. It did not happen. Go ahead, name it. Ask if Damiani remembers.
PT.
Size though? I thought
great.
about PT, but PT
No.
was
Yeah,
usually
not
just
the
like 2 or
size.
3.
Money Puzzle
Yeah.
Exchanger.
Yeah. Money Puzzle.
You thought
no,
it was
no,
Again,
no,
one or
no.
two at a time. I don't know.
Money,
Smash.
yeah, Money Puzzle Expander, maybe
Street
5.
Fighter 4.
Smash was absolutely for a very
No,
long
Yeah,
time.
we played a lot of Smash.
Before,
Dark
Yeah,
Souls
but
before
one,
Ultimate,
Crowd.
Smash Bros. Melee was every night.
Melee,
Every night people were playing that.
occasionally. Yeah, there were people playing, but think, what was Smash? Did we get that in the Hall of Greats?
No.
No.
Should probably
No
be
one's
there.
brought it yet.
Smash should probably be there too.
Don, chances are, none of us are gonna be gods or Batman or killing Hellspawn. Do you think the fact
Yes.
that you can get
Oh.
on a bike in
Thank
the
you.
real world, does that impact
No.
your perception of
I
Trials?
think this. Thank you for reminding Hubert. This is another point to just really knock this thing home. Everyone wants to be Batman, right? As a kid, most people, maybe not everyone, most people. Now listen, Ian, Dark Souls. Most people may want to be. They love the atmosphere, whatever it is about the game. That everyone wants to ride dirt bikes, and some
I'd ride a
can't.
dirt
But
bike through Dark Souls, sure.
it's massive world. I mean, it's a dream of every single person, a childhood thing, right? So it's like that's where the appeal is to absolutely across the boards, which I don't think you get with other games that are considered great.
I have
Oh.
ridden a dirt bike. It's exhilarating.
I'll throw
Same.
another wrinkle on this one, Don, because I was one of the people I think at this time most committed to this.
You were
And
there.
just speaking from personal experience, me trying to get back in that headspace of why I was coming by and checking this stuff out. The game is exciting, but there was also the element of who was playing. Like it's not only that I just wanted to see the records being broken. I wanted to see if Bobby Burns could break that
Yeah,
record. I wanted to
the
see if
greatest-
Matt Blair
Yeah.
could break that
The
record.
greatest
So
couch
again, I
co-op
don't-
game ever
It's
created.
tough for
One
me-
more
it's tough
feather
for
in
me
its
to-
cap.
to disassociate games, because I've played games on group streams that were not great, but I had a great time because I was playing with all of you. So
Yeah.
it's tough for me to hindsight
The
2020
yeah.
to look
The
back
only
and
reason-
think, was it the game that was great or was it the friendships that were great?
It was the game because the friendships were there. There were plenty of other games, the Impossible game, for instance, one that just kind of, but it didn't have the kind of scale and duration of the crowds that it kept their attention absolutely fixated for many hours after work, sometimes into the next day. And we
in
had
the
to have the
morning.
janitors, we had to have the
Yeah.
cleaning crew force us to leave the building.
Trials.
That didn't happen with any other. That didn't happen with any other game.
When did
They
that
wouldn't,
happen?
they wouldn't make us leave, though. We could
We'd
stay
never
there.
be
Cleaning crew
told to
games.
leave the building by a janitor.
I was told. I was told.
We can't prove that. It's circumstantial.
I was told that my key card would no
Objection.
longer work after midnight.
Well, that I think is
Anywho,
true.
hopefully.
20
Anyway, I
seconds
hope I
left.
made my point.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ben. Quick, ask it, and then
Yeah, one last question.
So Trials is super enjoyable, but I always reach this point in Trials where like it gets insanely hard to the point where it's like not fun anymore. Like the things that you have to do, it just feels like the repetition starts working against it a little bit.
Yeah.
You got him.
That's time.
And that's done.
No. Does it? The repetition? There's not really repetition, though, is it? Could you call it repetition?
Yeah.
What would you call it? It's absolutely repetition.
Well, I don't think it's an ongoing reputation. I mean, it's incrementally, it's reputation at points, but then you move on. You know, it never gets to a point where it's just absolute repetition, like you're riding a bike or something.
You're literally
All right, great job, Don.
Great
How do
job,
you
Don.
follow this man?
Good job, Don.
How do you
Fantastic.
follow?
How do you
Thank
follow
you.
that? My God.
Thank you.
Let me do
Thank
some
you,
shout
everybody.
outs.
Everybody thank you.
Sure.
Truly phenomenal.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Alice.
Oh God.
I think this one keeps. Yeah. Okay. Modi1212 used 100 bits. Pixelated donated $5. Boomadang resubbed 21 months. Manjit Arashi resubbed 40 months. Boomadang also donated $100, and
Whoa,
Snarky
thank you.
Puffers used 100 bits. Thank you.
Thank you.
Super Dirty
Thank
8-Bit
you.
did 20 gift subs during that too, I think.
Oh,
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, perfect angle too.
Michael Damiani, wrapping it up.
Masterpiece. All right. Let me get ready. I do not have a video either, so this will just be some music. You ready, Ian?
Ready? Are you? Wait, are you using the extra 26 seconds?
I guess. I don't know if I'm
I'll
going
put
to
it
be
on the
5
clock.
minutes. I think I'll be under,
All right. Well, I'll put it on the clock
just in
Okay,
case.
I'm ready.
All right. Begin now. For my Hologrades pick, I am bringing the 3D platforming masterpiece, Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy is a game where the controls feel good. Motion controls didn't trip up the experience. They were simplistic motions that added fun new ways to move, like spin jumps and slingshotting Mario through the cosmos. And the use of gravity is brilliant. It really changes up the platforming, and clever implementation like the alternating of gravity in the side-scrolling segments. Just, hadn't seen that before. It's still one of the best looking games on the Wii. Those visuals hold up, and you can actually see that in the modern port of the Switch version, which came out recently. By the way, only available for a few more days. The galaxies in this game, the levels, the worlds, they are just so good. Excellent atmosphere and themes all around. Sweet, sweet galaxy, space junk galaxy, dude, ghostly galaxy, a reimagining of like a haunted Boo Mansion, but like in space. Freeze Flame Galaxy, just having the dynamic of hot and cold, and Toy Time Galaxy. And the objectives in these levels to collect these power stars, they're clever and fun. Some of them make use of minigame style activities like surfing on the back of a manta ray, rolling around on a ball like monkey ball in like a miniature golf course. We gotta like navigate hairpin turns and like, oh man, you're just like, I'm gonna fall, but you just pull it out somehow. Then there are the prankster comets, which turn all the galaxies on their head with special challenges, like Daredevil mode where you cannot get hit. You think you're good at this game, you think this game's too easy, Daredevil's for you. Or racing against the clone of Mario. Challenges like that just really up the game. Then there are the extra objectives. If you want to go get all the purple coins and collect everything, it was there to go back and revisit the levels. And there was a reward for doing it all. Unlike Super Mario 64, Playable Luigi actually shows up this time. Awesome new power-ups, Bee mushroom, turn into a bee, fly around for a while. Boo mushroom, turn into this like floating boo with a Mario cap. Ice flower lets you skid across, making ice platforms. And then spring mushroom, a little coil around you, boing, spring up into the air. Levels that were designed around that to challenge you because you didn't know where you're gonna land perfectly. It was nice. And then hurling Mario through space with a launch star just feels right. One of the best things. This is the last 3D Mario game with a hub environment, the Comet Observatory. You unlock new parts as you power up the reactor. It encourages you to use your platforming your platforming prowess to reach new areas. It has a wonderful, charming atmosphere. Lumas are adorable. If you disagree, you are a monster. And this game introduces Captain Toad and the Toad Brigade. Origin stories right here. Don't miss it. And that music. This game has such good music. Fully orchestrated soundtrack that sounds amazing. Fantastic theme song. Stellar tunes all over the place, including the music you're listening to right now, Gusty Garden Galaxy. And then there's the story. Mario game with the story. What's this? Getting new chapters in Rosalina's storybook, which is presented like a children's tale. It's precious. It's unexpectedly emotional. Oh man. And then finally, boss fights with Bowser are epic in this game. The music, the theme, and the mechanics, it is just one of the best Bowser fights you come across in a 3D or any Mario game, period. Sum it up, this game is fantastic. It's amazing. It absolutely is deserving of being in the Hall of Greats, and that's gonna do it. Thank you.
1 minute exactly left. Interesting. Great job, Damiani.
Woo.
Ready whenever you are.
Wouldn't know, never played it.
How big were the crowds at GP?
Wow.
What's wrong with
That,
you?
dude. What the hell?
That's our new
What's wrong with
trick.
you?
Definitively here and now set the record straight. Why Galaxy 1 versus 2?
What's Super Mario
Thanks.
Galaxy 2?
That was a good way of putting that. I didn't know. how.
Right here. Set the record straight.
What's Super Mario Galaxy 2?
A game that came out after Galaxy and has like more.
No, it doesn't exist.
More worlds, more
Oh.
powers.
This shade
Serious
about
Nintendo
answer,
says
please,
doesn't
Michael
exist.
Damiani.
Serious answers.
Okay.
Serious answer.
Seriously though, it's a hub environment. Having that kind of connective tissue that makes you think that you're more immersed in the game. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is an excellent sequel, an excellent follow-up. It's probably like one of the greatest sequels of all time. And it's like right up there. I think they're both the pinnacle. They're just doing two different things. You want a slower, I think more time to process what you're playing in Galaxy, to kind of indulge in it, where Galaxy 2 cuts out that stuff to give you more of the levels, more like get you there faster, because you've already gone through this once. Doing the same hub twice wouldn't exactly work. Maybe they were just lazy and didn't want to make another. They did have a hub thing. Was that little Mario head? Wasn't nearly as exciting. But you know what? They could have made an exciting hub if they wanted to. But you know what? I don't even call it a hub. It was just like a little like lobby area. It's not even worthy of being called a hub in Galaxy 2.
But playing off of that, do you think that hub was actually that interesting, or it just feels like a big plaza to walk across, or do you feel like there really are worthwhile things to do in that stage?
Because you have to find, like, you can find find ways to platform up and see stuff a little bit early. There are the Luma things you could feed, so they would like unlock new galaxies. It isn't as rich. It's not about so much about finding secrets like Super Mario 64, which has that is the hub environment does the best job of that in my opinion. But the how it feels seamless, how it actually feels organic, like it actually leads into the other parts, and how you see it. You see these parts you can't access just yet, and they're gonna power like what's up there? What are the new galaxies? It's got like your mind racing about wondering about what is the next thing you're gonna see, and it's like people are living there. As I said, the Toad Brigade, people start showing up as you do each galaxy and each or set of galaxies. More residents start showing up, and it's kind of cool to see that.
But does Galaxy 1 have Throwback Galaxy? Sorry, Ben, you go.
Throwback Galaxy is Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Throwback Galaxy is 2.
Yes.
Just wanted that on the record. I just wanted that on the record. I knew the answer.
Yes.
So it's not a big deal on your first playthrough, but on subsequent playthroughs, the beginning of Mario Galaxy is slow. Like, you've got to go through that story and those cutscenes, and you can't skip it. And it's frustrating, especially for something like Mario, where so much of the appeal is just controlling the character.
I mean, that's true of a lot of games that they don't give you the option to skip the cutscene. Obviously, it'd be like nice if they knew that they had that option. So that is a shortcoming, but that's like a Nintendo-wide shortcoming in my opinion. However, that opening area is still very short. It's very brief. If you don't want, like, the first time, it's meant to just like walk around, see the Mushroom Kingdom. You're getting to see the lead up to Princess Peach's castle, something that was shown in Super Mario 64, teased a little bit in Sunshine, but you never really got to see more beyond like the courtyard, or the castle grounds, which was kind of nice. But you just like walk up there really quick, and then after and advance the cutscene, it's not too terribly long. But yeah, I'll give you that it's kind of a bummer you can't skip it.
Thoughts on Yoshi? Yoshi being in Galaxy 2.
Yoshi's a fun addition. And you know what?
He's just a fun addition.
They needed something for a sequel. I applaud them for getting the core game right and adding
Yoshi,
an extra
meet the bus.
Yeah.
Yoshi is better in Super Mario World than he is in Super Mario Galaxy 2. More meaningful in Super Mario World.
How do you feel that Luigi is really like a great end game reward? Like do you think it really changes the game enough? Like, again, like, I don't want to follow Huber's path, but I definitely appreciate the suicide stars of Galaxy 2 more than Luigi just being kind of like a fan service giveaway. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm kind of insulted that disregarding the history behind that loaded question right there. I mean, the pain and suffering of Mario fans with Super Mario 64 of the tease and not getting that. This was like, what, 10 years in the making dream to play as Luigi in this freaking game. In a 3D Mario platformer like this. Forget that DS port of Super Mario 64. No, that's nonsense. Kick that to the curb.
That's okay.
Don't play that. This is the way to play Luigi. And you know what? Luigi deserves the recognition. And you know what? It's just fun to play as Luigi. He earns it. He deserves it. I find that question disrespectful.
That's time.
Nothing like ending a Hall of Greats on disrespect.
Isn't Yoshi the tease in Mario 64?
Yeah, Yoshi's at the very end.
Yes.
You ain't fucking like see Luigi.
Wow.
That star, you didn't go read the star plaque, did you? You didn't believe.
I said see.
You weren't the believer. You weren't a believer.
Time.
You weren't a believer.
Time is up.
While
Yellow
Luigi's
cards.
coming to Smash, or
Yellow cards
Luigi,
to all of you.
It's coming to Smash. It's coming to Smash, damn it.
So how do we do this? We slack him to Damiani. He puts them together. We
Okay,
just gotta do
so
our kid
here,
photos,
give
I
me a
guess,
sec.
too?
I'll throw the nominees into. I'll throw them into here. Give me a sec. I'll throw them into Slack
This
for you.
is a tough one.
I'll throw them into. I'll throw them
We
into.
can see him on this. We
all
can see him on
around.
the
Throw them
screen.
into events.
Damiani with a major curveball at the end there.
Well, for
Brutal.
copy paste
Yeah.
purposes, if this makes it easier for some of you.
Every single one of these games, I would gladly play for the rest of the night.
Treat, absolute
This
treat.
is a
Yeah.
highly
Yes.
competitive.
Yep.
Highly
There's
competitive.
no-
hard.
So
There's
do
no
we want to
exceptions
like?
on that.
I think we picked up on the vibe when somebody was done last time. Do we want to just like wave or something like to be official about it?
Yeah, just wave.
Done.
That way you don't think,
Okay.
because I can't use the Zoom chat because it'll screw up the cameras. If I access it, I'll misalign everything. And if you just want to I'll just have my headphones off. So I'll just
We don't We don't say how many points we're giving, right? Just the games.
Correct.
Yeah, you don't say. You just say the
order.
games, and then but
Okay.
slack me the point values you're giving each game.
Yeah.
Remember, 3 is the most points, 1 is the least. Like not 1 is.
And we
this is my
cannot vote
first
for
pick.
our own game, right?
Do not vote
Right.
for
Not
your
vote for
own
your own
game.
game.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when you're saying the games you're voting for, do have an alphabetical order. Do not tell the audience what got 3, what got 2, and what got 1.
Right.
Just talk about games. No particular order, so they can't do the math on their own and beat us.
All right, and you have the order again, Jones.
The order of everyone. Yes, you want me to just read that off, and you can write that down as well, or
Those is so people know how they're going.
For us to
sure.
know.
Brad's
Oh
going
yeah,
first.
we could just
Know who you're after. Brad's going first, then Bloodworth, then Huber, then myself, then Ian, then Ben, then Don, and Damiani at the end.
And
Everybody remember your buddy.
I'm after Jones.
we
Wait,
want
I'm
to
after
we do
Huber.
want to do a full camera.
I'm gonna
on
need
the
you to
conf-
Ben,
repeat
you are
it.
after Ian.
I need a
Right.
full repeat from the top.
So I do need a
Third
second
from the
between
last.
each. I will give you when I do a thumbs up. That means the person who's going. So wave when you're done, then wait for my thumbs up. That means the next person you're good to go, because I gotta set up.
okay.
I gotta set up each shot.
Okay.
Sorry, who's going first again?
Who am I after,
Jones,
Jones?
just read them,
Brad
through
Ellis.
again. I'm gonna
Me.
type them
Sure,
in.
Brad Ellis
sorry.
is going
Brad.
first.
I just need to know
After
who's
Brad
going
is
first,
Daniel
that's all.
Bloodworth. Then Michael Huber. Then myself, Brandon Jones. Then Ian Hink. Then Ben Moore.
All right, sorry.
Then Don Casanova. And then Michael Damiani.
I put it in events.
Thank
Cool.
you. I'm
remember.
just
And the rest of it's take our headphones off, basically,
Yeah.
oh whoops.
when Brad starts.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Music. Oh,
And I'll
Take
give
your
you-
headphones off.
I'll give you a thumbs up when you're ready.
Okay, I'm gonna go. All right, chat. Short and sweet. Picking God of War. Picking Silent Hill 2. We're picking Mario Galaxy. Just for I love all 3 of those games. I think they're really great. I almost picked Diablo 2, but I'm super unfamiliar with it. But I think Ben did a great job. But yeah, sorry, it's a little short and sweet, but I think all those games are fantastic. I think everyone did a great job with their presentations. And I think they're all worthy candidates for the Hall of Greats. Okay, that's it for me. Bye.
Oh, you could go, Blood. Sorry, you can't see
Wait.
my thumbs up, so just go ahead, Blood.
No, I could. I just it came quicker than I expected. All right, so alphabetical order. Diablo 2 is going to get my 2 points. It is not. Oh, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay. Diablo 2 is getting my 2 points. I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to say that. Well, I gave one away, but all right. Diablo 2, I'm putting in there for. I've managed like a million things at the same time. I'm sorry. Yeah, I haven't put a lot of time into Diablo 2, and but I still think like it is. I've sat through some pretty cool Diablo talks at GDC. I've heard Ben talk a lot about it. Beyond just this, there is a reason that people were very, very concerned about this remake getting done correctly. So it's very, very much there, highly regarded, and I recognize it from afar, from a distance, even though it is not something that I have played. The next one on my list is Silent Hill 2. I think that it's crazy this hasn't gotten in yet, and we've heard so much about it, and I think this time Ian really nailed like every side of the coin. Like there's nothing left to say about Silent Hill 2. We've done it. We've hit the gameplay, we've hit the story, we've hit all the crazy psychological narrative. It's there. It really it's time to get this sucker in. And then the third alphabetical one is Super Mario Galaxy. I'll just say, when we had our game of the year that year, it was unanimous. That doesn't happen very often, very often at all. So yeah, that is very much worth the recognition. It is super inventive gameplay wise and level design, and the gravity is just mind blowing, and it's very, very, very cool. All right, I'm gonna get off of here and stop making mistakes. Well, I'll probably keep making mistakes, but I'm gonna get off here.
All right, you're good to go, Huber.
Yo. Okay. So one of the games I'm doing is Super Mario Galaxy. Because I think it is an incredible game. It's just like peak platforming. It is platforming perfection. Super Mario Galaxy. It's just pure joy. It's joy on a disc or however the hell you want to buy your copy of Super Mario Galaxy, disc, cartridge, digital. It is pure jolly video game bliss. When I think of video games, I think of that. Another one I'm doing is Silent Hill 2. That was the best presentation from Ian in regards to Silent Hill to date. Really sold me on it. Really sold, not that I needed to be sold, but really drove home, our past criticisms or reasons for not voting for it. I think he addressed. Just really well made. And also behind the scenes, considering how busy he's been with these EX and all that, just a real great effort and presentation from Ian. And my last game is going to be Trials, because that presentation, hands down, the most fun I've had watching, being a part of. Don let us be a part of that presentation, and I'm a sucker for theatrics. That's part of it, whining and dining for these Hall of Greats votes. Don did an excellent job of that, and he should be rewarded. So, Trials. Cool. I'm gonna respect.
All right, Brandon Jones, you're good to go.
Hello. Hi, I'm Brandon Jones, and here's what I'm going to be voting for. Let me get my list over here. In alphabetical order. It's interesting because this Hall of Greats, I think, is almost all exclusively games that I haven't finished, games I've not played a lot of. But if you've been in the business as long as I have, this is the product of many, many top 10 meetings and game of the year discussions and water cooler conversations about these games. And, and I look at the offerings, obviously big Arkham fan, but looking at these, I think Diablo 2, Silent Hill 2, and Super Mario Galaxy would get my vote. Votes collectively in alphabetical order. Diablo 2, certainly from somebody who's not only played, a lot of Diablo 3, and I have played Diablo 2, I just never finished it, but going back for video features that we have done, haven't touched Super Mario Galaxy at all. I've never actually checked that out, but I remember the people who gunned for that year for Game Awards were like voracious. I remember just that one that would it wasn't just like, well, I'm really passionate about Super Mario Galaxy. It was like, if this doesn't win, I am throwing somebody out the window. And Silent Hill 2, I think it's time. I think it's, I think enough is enough. I think that's going to pretty much sum up my feelings on all of those games. Definitely a tough one. Shout out to Trials. Love you, Don. But yeah, I think those are. I think we're still at the point with Hall of Greats that people can still throw out games where it's just like, oh man, is that not in there? Is Diablo 2 really not in there? Yeah. And shout out to Blizzard again. I think it's just one of the best things that company's ever created, and certainly one of the best Mario games ever made. And it's been 19 times we've talked about Silent Hill 2. Let's make it happen. Way bye.
All right, Ian.
Hello. Okay, so this is one of those. I feel like what happens to me every Hall of Greats is the first 2 or 3 go by, and I'm like, all right, no sweat. Like, I don't have to worry about this one. I don't have to worry about that one. I don't need to vote for this. It's fine. But then every time, 4 or 5 games come in, you know, there are always more games I want to vote for than I have votes to give. And this time, I definitely was torn hard between God of War, Diablo 2, and Super Mario Galaxy, and then also between Dance Dance Revolution and Trials. Like those are so instrumental, and DDR is just a legacy, you know. And I mean, mad props for Don's. Mad props. I don't know if I've ever said that, but big ups to Don's presentation. I thought it was hilarious. So I'm not gonna vote God of War, even though it's probably one of my top on here, because I think it'll get enough votes from other people. Hopefully, I don't know. So I'm gonna do alphabetically. The 3 I'm voting for will be alphabetizing Diablo, Mario Galaxy, and Trials. So those are my 3. Okay, bye.
All right, Ben, you're good to go.
All right. This is a really tricky Hall of Greats, and I can't say what I voted for. But obviously, you know, I've been banging on about Silent Hill 2 for a long time, and I hope with Ian's approach to talking about the gameplay and kind of shoring up some of those criticisms, hope it gets in. Really love the DDR pick. That game was so important to me, and really video games in general. I don't know that it gets enough credit today for how influential it was, and also like it's just such a good game. I want to play it right now so badly. So many fun memories. One of my favorite rhythm games that I've ever played. Just incredible. And Mario Galaxy is one of those games where when you get to the cross-examination, it's like, man, I really don't. I have to really dig for something negative to say about this. It's so good. It's truly such a masterpiece. It's like playing Mario Galaxy. It just puts so many other games to shame, just on every level. Creativity, soundtrack, controls. It's a gem. It's a gem.
Don, you're good.
Okay, cool. What's up, everybody? Happy anniversary. Thank you for being here. It was fun, as always. Difficult choices. Really good presentations by all the fellow allies. What I had to go with was I picked Batman, and that was because Jonesy had a really great presentation, reminded me a few of the things that were so special about that game, and yeah, just it absolutely executed on something that was being tried to be done forever, of really putting you in the place of Batman. I mean, this was the way you got to live it. Another detail about it too that wasn't mentioned, but that really elevates it, is it was one of the few games, there's only a handful of games that were released, you know, with a 3D presentation mode available to them, and Arkham Asylum might have been the best 3D game ever released. I mean, it is so good in 3D. So that's another little added thing of why I put that one in there. I also put in Silent Hill 2 because I thought Ian's presentation was fabulous. It really pushed it over the top. The footage he showed, I think, really made it clear to someone that maybe even has never picked up the game what would be appealing about it. And I think he covered pretty much. It was a very well-rounded presentation. So many for the third choice, so many hard ones that I had to decide between. And it came down to DDR and God of War. And it's funny because DDR is a game that I'll probably never really play just because it's not my skill, and you know, it doesn't come to me naturally, this game. But some of the most unbelievable thing I've ever I mean, it was a daily thing, but it was like getting to watch the opera. It was like getting to watch a world-class athlete, a world-class musician. It was just like anyone, when you see someone performing in a way that's like elevated above what a human should be able to do, and that's what watching you know, some of these really great TDR players was like. And so for a game to be that good, a game that you say, well, I personally would never play this game, but it's that incredible to just bear witness to. I had to give that one a nod as well, but boy, it was tough. So anyway, those are the 3 I put in here. Happy anniversary. Thanks for joining us.
Okie dokie. Just make sure this is all set for when we come back. I will apologize that this is like the 35th, at least 35th time in a row that I have forgotten to put the nominees here on the confessional. So my apologies, viewers. Or like I see it and I'm just like, damn it. And then like it's like a thing I always forget to do. So brief apologies. Anyway, my 3 picks in alphabetical order as Jones requested. I'm gonna say that I side with Jones on the Batman debate of Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. I feel Asylum has the better environments. It's the one that's most memorable to me. Yeah, City was bigger. City had better bosses. City had better combat, but the better Batman game to me, the better Batman experience, and the better like core game, because I like cherish atmosphere and environment so much, is Arkham Asylum. I wish they could like remaster it or redo it to just update. If they could just update the combat and maybe change a boss fight or a few of the boss fights, it would be a masterpiece. But I always prefer Arkham over. They're both neck and neck, but like Arkham, like it's fond memories. Anyway, second, Diablo 2. Having played Diablo 3 and seeing how what that's about, and hearing how Diablo 2 is like infinitely better than Diablo 3, I can at least grasp power levels now of like, okay, I understand why Diablo 2 used to be Ocarina of Time in the game FAQs, Game of the Year tournaments. It wasn't just vote pots. It was actually people really liked the game. Also, Ben's defense and explanation of it, presentation was pretty good too. And the last one I'm going to be voting for is Silent Hill 2. After 86 attempts, I think it's time. This actually was a very well put together video and well written video from Ian. I think Ian understood the meta finally of Hall of Greats, where you actually take it seriously and speak from the heart, but also mean it, and it's a genuinely good game. Your chances of getting it in are exponentially increased versus pandering and all other sorts of weird tactics that have been employed in the past. So those are the 3 that are getting my vote. So that wraps it up. I'm gonna, if you guys are listening, other allies, I'm about to switch back over to the main camera. If you all want to hop back on, we are all back now. Welcome back. Hi everyone, we're back. I guess I need to give a thumbs up. Yeah, we're ready.
Hello.
So that is everyone. I'm gonna go tally up the votes. So I'll be back in just a little bit.
Okay, I'll refresh things and go through some fun times. Let's see.
All of Greece is always so stressful.
Okay, yeah. So Boomadang had gifted 5 subs. Video gamer JP2 subscribed with Prime. Sliced Bacon 117 used 400 bits. 1400 bits. Sorry. Amnesiac donated $5. Sazim used 500 bits. Bengal Party used 200 bits. Yo Butts resub 61 months. Bobby Trizzle used 100 bits. Justice for Silent Hill 2 donated $25.
Hey now.
Oh no, is that a bad sign? Oh no.
No, I think that was before people were even on there.
Okay.
That was pretty
That
early.
was eluding the 28 times it was at the Hall of Greats.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Dan gifted some subs, and then Modi1212 also gifted some subs.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Way cool, way cool, way cool.
And then
lot of
Donovan
support,
raised
2
a
days
pledge,
in
but I
Easy
just
X.
refreshed, so I can't see it.
Shout out to all these games once again.
Yeah.
What a
Just excellent lineup.
Just makes me feel good about just this hobby we got, Huber. Every time I look at that call, I'm like,
Yeah, great game.
what would I do? What would I do? Do you start with DDR? Do you end with DDR if you're playing all of these? Like, I don't know.
I think you play other stuff and then you play DDR in the middle when you feel like you need some exercise.
Good call.
Right, like this week.
Like right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could play some DDR right now.
While we were voting and doing the confession cam and all that stuff, I did buy a new Monster Hunter hoodie
Oh my!
in that time period.
Oh
Real
my!
life hoodie?
On brand.
Yeah, is that in Rise? Does your character just wear a hoodie now? That'd be cool.
It's actually a Velcana hoodie. I'll link it.
That was not an incentive, Ben.
It's a really
Check the
sick
list.
hoodie,
I
though.
don't see it on there.
Hang on,
648.
look
All
at
right,
the
yeah,
list.
it all adds up. I have our results.
Here we
All
go.
adds up.
Yeah, let me get them in.
Add it up.
Let me actually get them in order.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction
Sure.
It adds
because
up
this
and
is
it
such a
adds
great
up.
lineup. I'm making the boldest prediction. No game is banned.
Ooh, nice.
Sure.
Ooh.
I like it.
I have doubts.
I have a guess of which one would be
Yeah, I have
banned.
doubts.
Oh.
Not yours, actually.
Don
Oh.
hurting.
All right. Let me get this rolling.
Yeah, I think DDR.
All right. So how we do
Let it
this
go.
again is I'll go in reverse order, revealing the eliminated ones till we get to the top three. Once we get to the top three, I'll reveal the first place, and then between the second and third place, I'll reveal who's the second inductee. So to begin with, I will say two things. The separation between the second inductee and the third place was one vote, extremely
Oh,
close.
awesome.
Wait, the third and second place?
For the third and second place, were separated by one vote.
Shit.
One
Always
vote,
happens.
By
dude.
one
Always
vote,
happens.
so
Did
very,
it happen to
very,
Silent Hill
very,
again?
very
Don't
competitive.
even-
Very competitive.
Dude, you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah,
He's absolutely
Yeah.
supposed to say
I'm supposed to
that.
say that, and
He
and
says
to,
all the numbers.
and to begin with the only bit of bad news, there is one game that received 0 votes, so it will be ineligible for a calendar
Oh,
year.
no.
Will not be available until after the Q1 2022. So till March of 2022, this game will be banned. That is unfortunately Dishonored 2.
Yes, that was my guess.
I knew it. I took a
Sorry,
risk
Brad.
on this one.
Sorry, Brad.
I had
Thank you, Brad.
some
Thanks
faith
for
in
giving
my
us
a great
fellow
pick.
allies,
It's a good
but
game, dude.
Yep.
most of them just don't
Can I take a
understand. But
Can I take a game?
I will be back in the future with this game.
Hell
I'm gonna
yeah.
make everyone see the light.
Redemption.
It's a great
Redemption.
game.
Ashamed of their
Yeah.
actions today.
This is what
That
happened with
clip
WoW.
was-
This
was
is what happened
hot.
with WoW. WoW
That
got
was fun to
banned,
watch.
and WoW came
Yeah,
back with
it's
a
gonna
vengeance.
come back, and you're all gonna be like,
Stronger.
"Brad was right. I was a fool."
I know you're right now.
Still waiting for that
know,
GoldenEye
exactly.
Redemption
I know you're
arc,
right.
too.
But yet you didn't vote for it.
I only have so many
Yeah,
votes.
there's only 3
3
votes.
votes. That was the problem I ran
Eating the
into.
flames.
All right.
I only have so
problem I
many
had.
votes.
Seriously.
Yeah, this was a night where I wanted to vote for like 5 of these.
Yeah.
It was difficult.
What do you
yeah.
give me? You
Very
don't know what the deal is.
I'm on your side.
Destroy the
I'm
pot.
with
You
They're
McCoy.
trying to say, hey, I'll tell you.
We
All right,
need
all right,
never
what's
forget
next?
this.
So coming in 7th place with 2 votes, the next one out, unfortunately, God of War. Saying goodbye.
That's
You guys haven't played
Wow.
God of War in a long time.
Fuck.
Is
That's
all
true.
that
Wow.
means.
And it shows.
That's how deep
Wow.
this is.
You guys haven't played since launch. Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
I voted
That was
for
like
it.
one of my top picks, but I didn't vote for it because I figured it was going to get 1,000,000 votes.
Wow, I figured that was a shoe-in.
Dude,
You're missing out on
out-gamed
60
yourself.
frames, and it
I
shows.
mind gamed myself. Oh,
Outgamed
that
my-
game
You
is so
psyched
good.
each other out.
Yeah, I thought that was a
Wow.
shoe-in. I thought it was
I thought that. Yeah, I thought that. Oh,
All
I'm
right.
shook.
Well, next up, tying for 6th place, the next 2 out, each with 3 votes. Trials HD, Trials HD, 3 votes.
you.
Farewell. And Dance Dance Revolution with 3 votes is eliminated.
But
So
I voted
now-
for Dance
Juggernauts.
Dance Revolution.
Juggernaut.
Nice.
I get
Yeah,
one
that's
pass.
where my Dishonored 2 votes went, Blood.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Wow, look at that.
All right,
Those
so
4 games.
in 4th place with 4 votes, the next one out, Batman Arkham Asylum.
4th place, I'll take it. 4th place. Go
I'm,
Arkham. Go Arkham.
I'm
I'll take it. It's
Arkham.
fine.
freaking out right now.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
All right.
Only
Let's get
two
to
of
the
these
drama.
Time to vote.
All right.
I can't.
Wow.
The first place winner with 17 of the votes. Dominant performance. Say hello to your first inductee. Silent Hill 2.
There it is. Finally.
Yeah, all right. All right, baby.
Finally!
Time is up.
We
Finally.
did it!
Yes,
Finally.
Ian.
This is a
So
win.
deserved.
Good shit.
Oh
Our
my God.
Wow.
second inductee. Winning 10 votes to 9.
Oh.
Harsh.
Joining the Hall of Greats is Diablo 2. Meaning so long to Super Mario
close.
Galaxy.
Wow, I thought Galaxy
Yeah.
was for sure going.
I
on.
thought.
No, we got enough
It
Mario
might
games
get
in there. Get out of
banned.
here. Get out of here.
I
Yeah.
thought it might get banned.
That's the
Yeah.
reason you didn't put it in.
No. I'm just happy. I'm flabbergasted.
No, that's great.
Yeah,
Diablo had my 3 and
That-
Mario Galaxy had my 2 and Trials had my 1. So I made it miss by 1 at least, or one.
Yeah,
of
I
them.
gave Diablo 3 and Silent Hill 2. So those were my top two.
Yeah, I
That's
gave Galaxy
I'm happy.
1.
Yeah,
I
I
also
gave Galaxy 1 and
one,
Diablo
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Gave Galaxy 3, man.
Yeah.
Stozer.
Galaxy's great.
One of
It's
the
great.
best, dude.
Oh,
There you have it.
GG.
Diablo 2, Silent Hill 2, Night of the Twos.
Sequels,
none of the
baby.
twos, the terrible twos.
After 126 attempts, Silent Hill 2, welcome to the Hall of
Yes.
Greats.
Finally in, dude.
Finally.
Finally in.
Welcome to the Pantheon.
we did it. I'm just happy we don't have to hear from it anymore.
I'm very
Master-
happy
True.
about that.
Ian, the
Until
Master
we
Troll-
do,
Yeah, bring Silent Hill 3. That's all great.
until we do like the
Master
Snyder
Troll-
cut of Hall of Greats.
You should pretend. One of us should pretend like it didn't get in and present it
Bring
again,
it again.
using like a
again.
combination of the arguments.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Let me tell
God
you
of
about
War,
the
dude.
story
Justice
in
for God
Silent
of
Hill.
War.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You guys just
Shocking.
haven't played it in a while. It's okay. It's not. That's
Shocking.
that's
No.
not a slight at all. It's just like not fresh on your mind.
Right.
I would.
That's what I like to think.
You're waiting for that PS5,
It's just not fresh on your mind. It's fine. Next time. Next time.
that enhanced edition
Not like
they
DDR.
do, leading up to Ragnarok.
3 of my friends just texted me.
Thinking about you.
Yeah.
Damiani, are we prepared for this little bonus?
So yeah, let me get this set up.
Oh, I forgot about this.
How
food
are we
is
doing the
arriving.
order or anything? I just need to know that.
It's
just go in
kind of
order
up
we
to you, or we can go in the same order.
We're just going in
as
order we presented. I could just
we
do
presented,
that.
yeah.
Sure. You
Yeah,
got that
let me
list.
get that set up.
Yeah, Brad was first. I've got the list here too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so sorry, going back to Twitch, going to Hall of Greats, Q1.
Yeah, so the first goal that we had for the fundraiser was for us to show off some kid pictures tonight. So we had to bug our parents if we could, and try to get some childhood photographs.
Oh, hang on one sec.
Mrs. Moore coming in clutch today.
Nice.
Yes.
One more sec. I just want to make sure they're aligned correctly. There we go. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fade them in and out. All right. So the scene I have planned is just gonna be the photo full screen, like none of us on none of
Great,
our reactions.
great.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Here we go. So first picture we got Brad.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah.
Look at that shirt, baby.
Yeah.
Tails!
That's
So
right.
cool.
Nice.
I
Yo,
would-
your jeans pulled up to your neck, man. I
Fuck
love
yeah,
it.
So cool.
Early 90s, baby.
Yeah.
Easter?
trend
Is that
again.
Easter or you
Yeah,
just
it's Easter.
Okay.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool.
See those eggs back there, dude?
So cool.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
So-
clutch of eggs back there.
Treasure trove.
It's seasonal. It's topical.
Let me
Very good.
ready for the next one.
That's
Brad's
great.
got 3 pictures, so
Okay.
Nice.
It's not bleached hair. So it's a bleached hair.
My hair was shocked.
My hair was
blonde
that
as a kid,
color.
too.
Dude,
Mine
Brad with
was
the
too,
power
as a kid.
stance.
Oh,
Look at
yes.
that, dude.
It is a power
So
stance.
good.
yeah,
That hit
64,
me.
baby!
one of the greats.
So good.
Oh, you look so different.
Yeah, man.
Fascinating.
The
So
chair.
sick.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a good
rocking
photo.
chair, dude. Legendary.
Feet
So
from the
good,
tree.
dude. What
Yeah.
a great
The small
shot.
The,
TV, dude.
Yeah, that's where you would
Piano
sit.
stage
Come
in
on.
Mario 64.
Yeah.
That was like our big TV too.
Yep.
at the
Right up
time.
front.
Oh, that's cool.
You can just tell me when to get to the next one if you want.
Oh yeah,
Ready?
you can go to the
Okay.
next one.
And this is the last one.
Yeah, dude. Elementary school.
The Mega Man
Nice,
shirt.
dude. Mega
It's a
Man
hookup
is-
shirt, but it's a Mega Man ripoff of that character. It's a skateboard
cool.
company.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant it's the shirt you wore to get hookups.
No, that was the
That was a
brand.
brand.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, as far as Mega Man ripoffs go, like, that's pretty freaking close. It's like Zero with Mega Man's
Oh, it's
colors.
just Blue Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Blue Zero, but it's a
Yeah.
great shirt, dude.
It's really cool.
Amazing.
That cloud background.
Yeah,
So
hell yeah.
good.
All right.
Good
That's
skybox. Good skybox.
Good skybox.
Great skybox.
Excellent skybox.
We got
Good stuff.
No.
got some photos of blood next. You ready?
Yeah. There we go.
Oh,
Nice.
Sweet.
I know there's
Precious
another
blood.
shirt or another shot of this shirt, but yeah, Skeletor shirt there that you can barely see.
So cool.
All right.
Rough and
Look at
tough
that
hair.
collar.
Yeah, you can do the next
Wow.
one.
Way cool.
your cute little nose.
It looks like you're wearing like a wizard robe to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and there I am with the toy camera I had. I think it like had like a sponge that like made the photograph appear or something like that.
Studying the evidence.
Yeah, calculating.
Very focused.
That's so cool.
Next
Take
one.
it.
Yep, there I am. There, I wanted to take you to the
Oh.
woods, as you all say.
Oh,
There you go.
Dude,
my
Blood is
God.
taking his first victim to the woods here.
like,
First day.
like
Or-
young Miyamoto, just thinking up Zelda. You know,
Yeah.
just looking at
That is a Miyamoto.
catching rupees.
Yeah, totally.
This looks like
Wow.
this looks like an album cover from the 70s.
Yeah,
Yeah, it totally does.
It
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Oh,
That's a
Blood
cool
and then
logo.
last one is a bit older, but
Nice, dude.
Those
Yeah.
Nintendo Power
Dude.
posters.
Nintendo controller,
Oh, Blood, that's
Nintendo
amazing.
Power posters,
Glare.
wallpapering just like every space they could.
what is that? What's the Star Wars? Is that Rogue Squadron or?
No, that's Super
Uh,
Star Wars, right?
Yeah, Super Star Wars. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh,
I wish I
you
had
are
this in a
bit
higher
older.
res because you can't make out some of them. But
Oh,
I want that Metroid poster so bad.
Dude, have you had long hair since you were a kid?
yeah,
Wow, cool.
yeah, and this is probably 13 or 14, something like that.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Oh, this is so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, this,
Sick,
I'm
dude.
loving
This
this.
is super
I didn't
cool.
know.
All right, we got Huber next. The first Huber pick queued up. There we go.
Nice, dude.
Oh,
Dude,
Shout
Yeah.
out.
so good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
good.
dude.
Look at that.
Protector right there.
Yep.
So cool,
Crazy.
dude.
Cast that protection.
Bambi
great
soundtrack
shot.
on
With the
vinyl?
Bambi record, yeah.
Yeah,
Bambi
so
LP.
cool.
Yeah,
So wait, are you
Oh,
the
man.
older or the younger?
he's the
here?
younger.
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 Yeah,
okay.
that's a great shot.
All right, the second one.
Wow, dude.
Dude.
Love it.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Dude.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
So
yeah.
good.
Love Halloween, dude. The best.
I wonder how old are you there? Do you think?
Dude, I'm like 4 maybe.
Mhm.
Okay.
Rose, like,
Threatening
7.
Huber.
Those
Yeah.
boots are
Rat.
incredible.
Yeah.
Also, I love the tapestry of a door on a door.
Love that tapestry, dude. I love
Huber?
that thing.
Somber.
Somber
For Halloween
tapestry.
this
Yeah.
year, I'm going as you for Halloween that year.
Oh.
You're looking at my Halloween
Yeah,
costume right
yeehaw.
here.
Beautiful.
Please do that.
With
Also-
the orange gun and everything.
So
Your
good.
brother's doing the like quintessential kid stance right now. This
Yep. Yep. I know that too.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
man. So
All right,
good.
so next up is going to be Jones.
Yeah.
Let's get Jones
Yeah.
number 1 on
Jonesy.
here.
Let's
There we
date
go.
the fandom
Whoa.
back as far as it
Yeah,
goes.
dude.
That's as
Whoa.
far
Oh my
as it
God.
goes, baby. I think
Wow.
this is
Wow.
1982, 1983, maybe. This is what
Wow.
Batman was. This
Before
was
he
it.
existed.
This was
Mhm.
it. He was blue. There was
Yeah,
no,
look at the logo.
no
Yeah.
Keaton, no Elfman soundtrack, none of that. This was
Pretty
Batman. I even
Keaton
had the
fan.
pot belly, the Adam West chunk, you know, just
So
to add.
authentic.
And that
So
was
authentic.
yeah, I think that was custom. I think it was just there were a lot of elements to it. I remember like the Velcro and the hands. It was all felt. So it was a very fluffy Batman. The V-neck Batman. And shout out to my brothers, Lone Ranger. Shout out.
So
All
good.
right, next.
Next.
Here's my second favorite superhero
Oh.
of the time, of the era. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Whoa.
There's Milo looking me with my boy Spidey. With what could potentially be some combat action. I'm not sure if I just put the hand up or if that could go down
Karate
with
chop.
my tool
That-
overalls.
That blonde hair.
And for this
The
third,
little
oh yeah, my
stealth
brother and I
tools?
fiery blonde until our hair went brown. And for this next picture, you can show it, Damiani. Don't anyone ever question my patriotism, ever.
Oh my gosh.
Shit, dude.
Wow.
'Cause I am ready.
Quite the writing stance too.
I am
That
ready
is a
to
great
tour
photo.
Don't question
and
it.
tell the world why we're the
So
best country.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're
there's
getting
some great memes
significantly
coming.
older with question number 4, but I'm especially proud of the console and the game in the console.
Look at this.
Let's see it.
Oh my gosh.
There's
Whoa.
so many amazing things.
Whoa.
about this
What-
picture.
It's like modern
Whoa.
Brandon right there.
The wave hair,
Yeah.
the earphones, the shirt. Where am I? Am I at Sunday school? Am I
You're
going
in
to a
Saved by the
wedding?
Bell, dude.
What's going on? Why am I?
Heck,
I'm
Morris.
not going to school in this shirt. This is on vacation. Why am I wearing this shirt? I don't know. Do we see what game it is? Does anyone
I'm
recognize?
trying to see it.
I see the
Ninja. I
word
think it says
ninja.
ninja.
That is Ninja Gaiden for the Game Gear.
Strong Zach Morris energy.
Rocking
I didn't
6
know there
AA
was a
batteries
Ninja
right
Gaiden
here.
for the game.
Yeah, dude, and they
Holy
didn't
shit.
last long. Oh my
Yep,
gosh,
there you
that's
go.
so cool.
My friend Gabby says that your Spider-Man figurine was thick.
Nice, yeah. It was as third as tall as I was. Or
Wow,
I
that's
have it.
good.
There you go.
Sick.
All right,
Great
next
photo.
up is Ian.
Ah.
Get the first one up there from Ian.
Oh,
Ugh.
There's
baby.
me and my dad.
Nice.
I'm a little
Mhm.
baby. Those are Care Bear slippers. I was real into
That's
Care
so
Bears
cute.
as a child.
Yeah.
So cute. A little bugger.
And next up. There you go.
Oh, sweet.
I have those two pictures. I don't have a lot of photos, but those are the two photos I have in my room.
That is
two
an
of the
excellent
photos.
one.
So good.
Yeah, it's
Love
good.
that.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. And I mean, that's the kind of energy my mom had. Just real warm.
Looks very loving and warm, dude.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, she was the best. They were both the best.
All right.
All right, the next two aren't as sad. You can go to the next one. Same outfit, full fit pick here. The
Nice.
outfit.
So
I
good.
appear to have a toy tape measure.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you're like a
maybe
tailor.
bulldozer suspenders, perhaps. I would wear that to this day. This is
I've changed my Halloween costume.
yeah, yes, please do. The blue turtleneck, blue on blue on blue. Yeah, so that's that one. Yeah, I like how it coordinates with the tape measure. It's
Yeah.
put together. It's put together. All right, next one. This one is I'm much older. But
Oh yeah.
this is a ridiculous photo. I think this was senior year of high school or maybe freshman year of college. But we used to play badminton in my front yard. I have a deep love of badminton, and that's me making an amazing badminton play while wearing jeans and leather shoes, I think. But that's just a really dumb picture. So, yeah, that's mine.
So good.
Nice.
Excellent.
Dope.
We got Ben up next. First one.
Oh my.
What?
Oh my
Ow.
God!
What? The paint?
Oh,
You put
yeah.
the paint?
Add more paint.
Dude, oh my gosh, it's so good.
This is insane.
That red hair, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, those curls. The curls.
Yeah.
Wow.
love how
The
all
curls
of us
are
are
coming
coming
side.
back.
All of us had
Parents-
different
your
colored
parents were
hair as
intentional.
kids.
Oh my gosh.
The pool of blood coming around the corner is
Yep.
an
Yeah,
interesting
my
thing.
Yeah.
first victim. Yeah.
That's commitment to spill a thing of paint for a photo.
Yeah.
It's a,
I
no,
think
I
it's a
don't.
prop.
It's a prop.
It's
yeah.
a prop.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it's a
was a
prop.
prop.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, okay.
But hey, it worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got him.
Yeah,
Just
got
puts his
him.
palm in it and licks it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next one.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite ones. This is so wonderfully dubbed. I look like I was like born in 1930.
I know that's a good young.
Dude, you
young
peaked
boy
as an
outfit.
infant. You're amazing. This child.
Now we'll only be at port for a couple of days, so
Yeah.
whatever you're doing
How
tonight.
cute, your little hand and your weird little face.
Yeah, it's just Jack called it. I am again changing my Halloween costume.
Oh man, if you would wear this outfit, I'd be.
What you
I'd
got to
be
do,
so
Jones, is
happy.
leave the room. Leave the room every couple of
Right.
minutes. And come back
Yeah,
as a
come
different
back.
one of us as a kid.
Holy cow!
Oh my god.
Holding the invisible wizard staff.
Yes.
Oh my!
Oh!
Holy shit.
Oh!
My wife
So
said I look
good.
like a composer here.
Dude,
You look
yeah.
like a
first
wizard
guessed.
or a composer.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, like a weird
Cute
happy
as hell, dude.
cellist.
Oh my god.
Holy
Excellent, dude.
crap.
So cute.
And... Oh, I skipped ahead one, but I'll get the other one, Ben. Sorry.
Oh!
What did you win?
I don't know. I don't know what I won here. I don't know what this
You
is.
won. You won like a bagpipe tournament.
Yes, yeah. I do look very Scottish here, for sure.
1990.
Oh,
The trophy was
God.
given at least.
All right. This is the one I skipped over.
good.
Last one here.
I don't know. Oh God. I don't know if I could take all of these.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh good.
Yes. The bare
This
knees.
is, this he's no longer alive, but this was my dog Rusty.
Rusty.
Rusty, yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, Rusty. I love
Golden
you.
Retriever.
The look on
Nice.
your face is so complex in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
can't tell
definitely
if you're
not comfortable with
terrified.
taking photos.
This is
Didn't
yeah.
come
This
as
is one of
naturally to me
the.
as when I was a baby.
Into the awkward teen years here, preteen years.
Yep, yep. I'm like swimming in my clothes.
Yeah. Hair's still red though. Why did all of our hair change color?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had fiery red
Just
hair
happens.
growing up.
I had a
don't even know
shock
exactly
blonde
when it changed.
afro as a kid, as like a 2-year-old.
Next
Oof.
up is Dawn.
Oh wow.
Shit.
Here we go.
Dude,
First one
it's
from
tough to-
Dawn.
Tough to dig up some pictures.
Just looks
We're
the
gonna
same.
go
Oh.
way
Oh my
back
god.
I see
There's a
it.
new
I
one.
see it.
as a baby. Peaceful.
cool,
as
the
you can
chill.
see. Very peaceful. And next, jumping ahead.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Cool
Coming home
guy.
from
gosh.
school, sitting in the Volvo.
Oh, cool.
Oh man.
Playing 3-card Monty
Yeah.
in this picture, Don?
Mom just
cat.
asked one too many questions about school. I don't know what's going on there.
Giving me a young River Phoenix vibes.
Bad
Yes,
attitude.
dude, yes.
That's it.
Whew.
All right.
Chills.
I was only able to get one picture in time, and I'm about, I think, 14 in this picture, so it's not as young. It's the only one I have. I'll try and get younger ones as a make good, but this is the only one I was able to get.
Dude.
Yes.
Nice,
Oh.
dude. Holy
Holy
smokes.
cow.
Slugger, dude.
The sports
Awesome.
guy.
Sports
Yeah.
guy.
sports guy.
The sports
The
guy.
sports guy.
Who is he?
Yeah,
Piercing stare.
Real
baseball.
Stallone
Yeah,
vibes.
holy shit.
Super.
Dude, I'm getting
intense.
Frank Castle vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super time.
Definitely.
Big time, Frank.
Well, it's a sports photo,
Love
so
it.
they're like you don't smile in sports photos and stuff, right? Like,
Right.
the always, yeah,
That's
the weird
true.
thing. So it's like I gotta look as most uncomfortable as possible, like looking intimidating. It's like
That's why I love
Really
y'all
awkward.
know. Some of you in chat would know, but y'all know Mike Buddy. His football photos were the best because he was just all smiles. Like he's got his
Oh,
helmet.
I should find my
He
football.
played football
photo.
freshman and sophomore year of high school, and like he was the only guy in the team who smiled. That always cracked me up.
I was a very tall child. Yes, I was like taller than
Yeah.
most everyone. My parents thought I was gonna play basketball until I got to about this age, and didn't grow anymore after this. So it's like I got to like my size, my height, and then like stopped. And they're like, "No, you're supposed to be like 6'9" or something. You're gonna play basketball."
When was this, Damiani? What grade do you think?
This
You
is
know,
like
or,
the first year, like turning like between freshmen. So that's why I was saying like 14, 15.
Oh,
Like,
cool, cool,
yeah,
cool,
like because we
Wow.
had junior high, so it's like this would have been fall of like freshman year.
The
Yeah.
Shepton Stallions,
Don't
dude.
Hubert,
Cool
the
team.
Shepton
Syndrome at the
Stallions.
batting cages. You down? You
Would
down?
love to.
Once
dude.
once we get our shots.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
Gonna go
Those
swim away.
cats.
Yeah. Sorry, I hung out
It's
that for a
definitely
while.
like don't talk to my sister vibes in that.
Yeah.
Frank Castle.
Yep.
You.
Well, I got a couple of shout outs to close things out. Fanny raised her pledge to $7 on Patreon. Thank you. And then 8-Bit Brick donated $5. Modi1212 gifted another sub. Garrett Quenzi donated $5, and YouTube resubbed 54 months. And yeah, like I said earlier, the Twitch numbers lag behind a little bit. They haven't updated through most of this stream. So we'll see how those add in when we come back for tomorrow's streams.
Yeah, we're only 2 days in. We're actually doing all right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blasted through our 10K goal tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
See that in.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah, here's.
Next
We are all
Monster Hunter-
so excited about this list, and so you know.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter movie audio commentary next, then the Patriot Watch
Yeah.
Party, Super Mario Bros. The movie spoiler mode, Forbidden Easy update, Street Fighter movie spoiler mode, Easy Allies favorite food car reviews, and then the Easy Allies Puppet Spectacular. Can
A spectacular
we make
puppet spectacular
Who's
live on twitch.tv/easyallies.
I love how I already know what the Forbidden Easy update is, but I kind of wish you just like shocked everybody and it was like you and Huber like torturing somebody or something.
Yeah, maybe
Oh my
you could
God.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
No, I don't
Like
actually wish
making
that.
out or
Yeah,
something.
not like pain torture, you know.
Yeah.
We recreated
I don't
the
actually want you to
movie.
hurt anyone.
We recreated
Like,
8mm shot for shot.
Yeah, we recreated scenes from 8mm.
Hey,
It is not
tomorrow
bad.
morning.
It's much nicer than that.
Tomorrow morning, we're debuting a new show.
Yeah, it's uploaded, Bled. It's all ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, both. You get $5 early access on Patreon. You get to see Ghost of Tsushima's episode, but for everybody else, you get to see the
In a
premiere
game.
Assassin's
We
Creed
were doing
Valhalla. It's the episode 1 of Mindful Games. And then at 11 a.m., I'm going to do a guided meditation. We'll see how that goes on Twitch. Probably do a short one, probably like 10 or 15 minutes, the whole stream, because I'll just talk about the episode a little bit and then have AC booted up. Avor and us will just kick back and take a breather.
Nice.
A midweek easy X breather. Feels good.
Feels good.
Jolly.
Very cool.
You might like this tidbit, Huber. Saw it in some asked in chat, like looking mature for your age. I remember being 14, 15. No R-rated movies. Ray was going to them. Never got questioned or anything like that.
Nice.
Like,
Dude, nice.
Really?
yeah,
You had to bring the bat though.
Yeah.
You show up to the tickets with the bat.
it was so nice. I was
Die Hard
like,
2,
Yes.
please.
never had to worry about
Yeah,
that
go
stuff. I
in.
was like, this is excellent.
Yes.
Hellraiser 3. 2
Hell
tickets,
yeah.
please.
That's so good.
Friend Code is happening tomorrow at noon. If you're not aware, that's been on a new schedule. So that's the first
That's
time that
been.
Friend Code's been on the schedule.
It's funny.
Yeah.
We sort of do talk about the stuff that kind of had the new story broke last night about the Switch Pro details from Bloomberg. Doesn't really obsolete anything, just like enhances what we talk about. So we don't cover it in it, but like the talk is all about the previous 2 Bloomberg articles about the Switch Pro. So DLSS did come up, so it'll be worth the listen to, in my opinion.
Nice.
And then for Mike and Ben, Diablo 3 happening for 4 hours. And then fun one tomorrow night. Brandon is playing Dragon's Dogma for the first time with
Well,
Ian and
Kinda.
Ben.
Playing
What's that?
from Grand Soren for the first
We
time.
told him to get to
I'm
Grand
in the
Soren.
middle
Oh,
of Grand
man.
Soren.
Wait, Brand, what
literally just
platform are you
looking
playing on?
I'm playing on PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 4 version of Dragon's
Okay.
Dogma Dark Arisen.
I should try to make a pawn for you.
Oh, I wonder if my pawns
Be-
would go into that.
At
Because
least-
I played on PS4. I wonder.
I already lost a
Wait.
pawn. The bird carried the pawn away. I was like, oh, bye.
Oh.
It dropped him on a
amazing.
ledge of a cliff, and they were like, help me. And I'm like, I can't. I don't know how to get down there.
Bye.
Pawn left him for dead. See ya. So those kind of shenanigans for a long time until I pass out, until I
burned
fall
through
asleep on
pawns
camera,
pretty quick.
basically. I was not attached. It was the
Yeah.
first like community pawn I found. Their
Yeah.
names
Oh,
misspelled.
yeah,
I
it
was
wasn't
like,
your
get out of here.
pawn? Yeah, whatever. Let
Had
him
a pawn.
drop.
No pawn. So many pawns.
Masterworks all, can't go wrong. No, you haven't heard that yet. Ooh.
What will it be today?
And then Thursday is good. Now, especially because we unlocked that race, that Mario Maker race.
Mm-hmm.
Be so
Sick.
fun.
Evening time.
It's gonna be fun.
Sick.
Easy X.
Yeah, Friday's a hell of a finale. Got brand new game premieres. First time we ever played these games together ever. Launch day, baby. Wrapping up
Yeah.
a tier maker.
Oh,
It's a good week.
I will be making
Weekly
that
hunts.
post as soon as we wrap up here. Patrons, I will be making that post, calling for your tier maker ideas, and we'll go through those on Thursday to figure out what we will be doing on Friday. So, coming up shortly.
Sick.
Tight.
Sick.
Sick.
Dope.
Later,
Tubular.
everybody.
Toodles.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, mods, for
Yes.
a long day and a long week.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Maybe Ben will buy you something in Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, get some of those Genshin bucks. Bye.